In a world that often glorifies the idea of following your passion, it is important to recognize that this advice can sometimes oversimplify the complex journey of personal fulfillment. The notion implies that there is a singular passion waiting to be discovered, and that pursuing it will lead to happiness and success. However, life rarely adheres to such a linear narrative. Consider the stories of well-known figures who have found success. Many of them started in fields far removed from what they are celebrated for today. For instance, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, initially pursued a calligraphy course that had nothing to do with technology. While this decision seemed unrelated at the time, it later influenced the design of the Macintosh computer and laid the groundwork for Apple's aesthetic. This example illustrates that passions can evolve, and that the winding paths we take can ultimately lead us to unique destinations. The idea of following one passion may also impose unnecessary pressure. It suggests that people should be constantly searching for that one true calling, leading to feelings of inadequacy if they do not find it. In reality, it is completely normal for passions to shift over time. Someone might start their career in teaching because they love working with children, but over the years, they might discover a newfound interest in environmental science. This shift not only broadens their horizons, but can also lead to a more fulfilling career. Embracing diverse interests can often be more enriching than focusing solely on one passion. Moreover, the pursuit of a singular passion can limit exploration. It's essential to recognize that fulfillment can often be found in unexpected places. A lawyer might find joy in volunteering at a local shelter, nurturing a passion for social justice outside of their professional life. A corporate executive may take up painting as a hobby and find it incredibly rewarding, even if they do not pursue it professionally. These varied experiences can create a more well-rounded life, emphasizing the importance of curiosity and openness to new opportunities. Personality and circumstances also play a significant role in how people find fulfillment. Some thrive in structured environments, while others flourish in chaotic and unpredictable settings. For individuals who thrive on change and variety, sticking to a singular passion might feel stifling. Instead, they might find satisfaction in exploring multiple paths, leading to a richer and more diverse set of experiences. Networking and collaboration further highlight the benefits of a diverse approach. Working with others from different backgrounds can ignite new interests and lead to discoveries that might not have come from a solitary pursuit of one's passion. These collaborations can open doors to opportunities that blend multiple interests and lead to personal growth in unexpected ways. Embracing a broader perspective allows us to appreciate the journey instead of fixating solely on an endpoint. Life is filled with experiences and lessons that shape who we are. Being open to new experiences fosters resilience and adaptability, qualities that are invaluable in the ever-changing world we live in. Allowing oneself the freedom to experiment with new ideas and skills can lead to unique pathways and unexpected fulfillment. Additionally, it is worth noting that passion alone does not guarantee happiness or success. Many individuals may feel passionate about something, yet find it challenging to turn that passion into a viable career. In such cases, it is essential to assess skills and realities while exploring various avenues. For example, someone passionate about music might realize they have a knack for organizing events and find great satisfaction in promoting concerts rather than performing. Here, the essence of passion persists, but its manifestation takes on a different form. Ultimately, the narrative of following your passion often overlooks the practicalities and realities of life. The journey encompasses not only personal desires, but also financial responsibilities, family dynamics, and societal expectations. Many times, fulfilling a passion may require compromise or blending various interests to create a sustainable and meaningful life. It is crucial to recognize that there are numerous ingredients to a fulfilling life beyond merely following a singular passion. Encouraging individuals to explore multiple interests and embrace change empowers them to craft their unique paths. It's about finding joy in the moments spent learning new skills, connecting with others, and embracing life's unpredictability. Instead of seeking just a single passion, consider how many diverse experiences can contribute to your sense of fulfillment. Moreover, the richness of life lies in its variety. By engaging with different pursuits, individuals cultivate a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. This holistic approach not only fosters personal growth, but opens doors to new passions that may emerge along the way. In conclusion, while the idea of following one's passion may be aspirational, it is essential to understand that fulfillment is a multifaceted experience. Pursuing a singular passion can be limiting, while exploring diverse paths allows for personal growth and deeper connections. Embrace the myriad experiences life has to offer, and allow your journey to shape and inform your passions. After all, it is often in the exploration that true fulfillment lies. The concept of the American dream has long been a cornerstone of American identity, embodying the belief that anyone, regardless of their background, can achieve success through hard work and determination. This ideal is often characterized by the pursuit of upward mobility, homeownership, and the opportunity to live a fulfilling life. However, as we explore this notion, it becomes clear that the American dream is not a universal reality, and the pathway to it is marred by systemic barriers and socioeconomic disparities. To begin understanding the complexities behind the American dream, one must look at its origins. The phrase gained prominence in the early 20th century, particularly during the Great Depression, when opportunities for prosperity and success seemed like a flickering light at the end of a long and dark tunnel. The idea suggested that through tenacity and effort, one could rise from humble beginnings to achieve greatness. This narrative has been deeply ingrained in American culture, serving as a motivation for generations. Yet, as appealing as this dream sounds, the truth is far more complex. The myth of meritocracy, the belief that anyone can succeed solely based on talent and hard work, does not take into account the varied starting points individuals have. For many, opportunities are limited by factors such as socioeconomic status, race, gender, and geography. A child born into poverty, for example, faces significantly different prospects than one born into wealth, regardless of their personal ambition or ability. Let's consider the role of education in striving for the American dream. Education is widely regarded as a key to upward mobility. However, access to quality education is not uniform across the United States. Public schools are often funded by local property taxes, which creates disparities in resources and opportunities between affluent and low-income neighborhoods. As a result, students from less privileged backgrounds may not receive the same level of education or access to extracurricular activities, which can hinder their chances of success later in life. Moreover, the cost of higher education has skyrocketed, leaving many graduates burdened with student debt that can take years, if not decades, to pay off. This financial strain can stymie their ability to invest in a home, save for the future, or start a business. Consequently, the dream of achieving financial stability and prosperity can quickly become a daunting challenge for many individuals and families. Another vital aspect is the impact of race and systemic discrimination. Historical injustices, such as redlining and discriminatory hiring practices, have created significant barriers for people of color. These challenges can limit access to wealth accumulation and quality housing, further entrenching inequality. Families who have been denied the ability to build wealth over generations face enduring disadvantages that complicate their pursuit of the American dream. The notion of the American dream also assumes a level of mobility that is increasingly difficult to achieve in a competitive job market. As the economy evolves and industries transform, many find themselves struggling to adapt. Job security can be elusive, with many workers facing the gig economy's instability and lack of benefits. The pressure to succeed is compounded by the constant reminder on social media and in popular culture of what it means to have it all. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy for those who are working tirelessly, yet still feel distant from the idealized version of success. The contemporary reality further complicates the scenario. Solutions to achieve that dream seem out of reach for many. Rising housing costs in urban centers, where job opportunities have converged, can prevent aspiring individuals from achieving home ownership, considered a central element of the American dream. Many find themselves priced out of neighborhoods that promise better schools and employment opportunities. Furthermore, the economic landscape is increasingly marked by inequality, where the gap between the rich and the poor continues to widen. Wealth concentration in the hands of a few creates a landscape of stagnation for those at the bottom. The American dream, once perceived as attainable for all, now increasingly resembles a privilege exclusive to the few who have the means to capitalize on their opportunities. However, it is also important to recognize that dreams and aspirations can take on various forms. The allure of the American dream may not resonate with everyone, and alternative paths to fulfillment may be just as valid and valuable. The pursuit of happiness can manifest in many ways, including community engagement, creative expression, or simply leading a life aligned with one's personal values and priorities, rather than a predefined blueprint of success. In conclusion, while the American dream remains an enduring ideal, its accessibility is profoundly affected by numerous societal factors. The disparities in opportunity, education, race, and economic stability reveal a more nuanced reality. As society progresses, it becomes essential to reflect on how these barriers can be dismantled, allowing a reimagined version of the American dream that encompasses inclusivity and genuine opportunity, providing a platform for all to reach their aspirations without obstruction. The journey toward understanding and reshaping this ideal is ongoing, and embracing the diversity of dreams can lead to a more equitable future for generations to come. Hard work is often celebrated as the key to success. It is a mantra we hear from a young age, pounded into us by parents, teachers, and motivational speakers alike. We experience a sense of pride and satisfaction when we put in the effort, and there is indeed great value in dedication, perseverance, and toil. However, while hard work is undeniably important, it is essential to explore why it is rarely enough on its own. Factors like privilege, opportunity, and luck can play equally significant roles in determining outcomes. To understand this better, let's consider a simple analogy. Imagine two people working diligently on their respective projects. One individual hails from a supportive background, enriched with resources, perhaps a robust education system, and an extensive network filled with mentors. The other person might be driven, committed, and hardworking, yet they struggle against systemic barriers that limit their opportunities. Both are giving their all, but their realities are vastly different due to circumstances beyond their control. Privilege often shapes opportunities. It comes in various forms: economic stability, access to quality education, and even social connections. Take, for instance, The race for college admissions. A student with the privilege of attending a well-funded school, equipped with experienced teachers and AP classes, can have vastly different experiences compared to someone from an under-resourced neighborhood. In such cases, hard work is only part of the equation. Academic performance, while still important, may also be influenced by the quality of education received, to say nothing of the support they receive at home. We often see examples in the realm of professional success, where networks and connections can lead to faster career advancements. Consider an individual who lands a high-profile job due to a family connection or a friend in the right place. On the other hand, a similarly qualified candidate without those connections may find it significantly more challenging to navigate the job market, regardless of how hard they work. In both scenarios, it becomes evident that luck and privilege can often steer the outcomes of hard work in unforeseen ways. Luck, too, can play an immense role in success. It can manifest as timing, being in the right place, at precisely the right moment. This could be an unexpected job opportunity presented to someone at a career fair or stumbling upon a lucrative idea during a brainstorming session. Some entrepreneurs attribute their successes to fortunate turns of events that fundamentally shift their trajectories. In the world of art and entertainment, talent is essential, but many successful artists often refer to the role of chance in their lives. A budding musician may spend countless hours honing their craft, yet it takes merely one fateful encounter, meeting the right person at an open mic night or getting an unexpected endorsement from a popular artist, to propel them into the spotlight. Often, the difference between those who achieve lasting success and those who don't can hinge on serendipitous moments that were not even a product of hard work. Furthermore, mental health and well-being play crucial roles in our ability to harness hard work effectively. Individuals from privileged backgrounds might have greater access to mental health support, helping them navigate stressors and challenges more adeptly. When hard work intersects with robust support systems, the chances of success can increase. Conversely, persistent hardships can wear down even the most diligent of workers, often leading to burnout and diminished productivity. Another factor to consider is cultural context. Different societies place varying values on hard work, which can change how people perceive success. In cultures where collective success matters more than individual achievement, the understanding of hard work shifts significantly. The narrative of success can thus become interwoven with community values, showing that what works in one context may not resonate in another. In a world where outcomes are influenced by more complex layers than just diligence, it becomes vital to recognize that hard work is one piece of a multifaceted puzzle. It is important to understand the interplay between effort, circumstances, and chance. Acknowledging this complexity not only fosters empathy, but also inspires us to advocate for a more equitable system where opportunities are accessible for all. In conclusion, while hard work is an irrefutable and commendable quality that leads individuals to pursue their aspirations, it alone cannot guarantee the desired outcomes. Privilege, luck, opportunity, and systemic factors shape our journeys in profound ways. Recognizing these elements encourages a broader understanding of what success means, supporting the notion that a holistic approach to achievement can pave the way for a more inclusive and fair society. The phrase, "no pain, no gain," resonates deeply within various realms of our lives, especially in fitness, work, and personal growth. At its core, this saying emphasizes the notion that enduring hardship is necessary to achieve success. While persistence and resilience undoubtedly play roles in achieving our goals, this mantra can lead us to misleading conclusions about the balance of struggle and well-being. Consider the fitness industry, where this slogan is often glorified. Many believe that intense workouts are the only way to see results, promoting an environment where pain becomes synonymous with progress. While a healthy exercise routine is crucial, the emphasis on pain can foster unhealthy habits. Individuals might push themselves too hard, risking injury or burnout, solely to adhere to this idea that discomfort is a marker of success. Yet, recovery and rest are equally vital components of physical fitness. True strength lies in understanding the importance of listening to one's body and allowing time for healing and growth. Moreover, the belief in no pain, no gain spills over into mental health as well. Many think that suffering through challenges is a necessary path to personal development. It is true that overcoming obstacles can foster growth, but equating all struggle with meaningful advancement can lead to detrimental consequences. This perspective may cause individuals to ignore their mental health needs, allowing stress, anxiety, and even depression to take a back seat to the pursuit of continuous improvement. A more compassionate approach recognizes that growth can arise from joy, support, and understanding, not merely from hardship. In the workplace, this mantra often perpetuates a culture of overwork. Employees may feel pressured to sacrifice personal time and well-being for the sake of achieving success or meeting deadlines. This mindset creates a competitive environment where burnout is rampant. It's essential to realize that optimal performance is not merely a product of relentless effort, but also of well-being, creativity, and a balanced life. Companies that promote a healthier work-life balance see increased employee satisfaction and productivity, shedding light on the truth that effort does not have to be painful to be fruitful. Furthermore, the glorification of struggle can marginalize those who may not have the same capacity to endure challenges. Individuals dealing with chronic illnesses or mental health struggles may feel inadequate when confronted with the notion that pain is a prerequisite for achievement. It risks alienating those who require different paths to success, often leading to feelings of inadequacy or shame. Understanding that everyone's journey is unique is crucial in crafting a more inclusive perspective on growth and success. The conversation surrounding no pain, no gain presents an opportunity to reevaluate our views on success. It encourages the exploration of alternative narratives that prioritize well-being, joy, and fulfillment alongside effort and dedication. For example, practices such as mindfulness and self-compassion can create paths that advocate for growth without the necessity of hardship. Through these practices, individuals can embrace a more holistic approach to life and achievement, integrating play and enjoyment into personal or professional pursuits can foster innovation and creativity, proving that progress does not always have to be accompanied by discomfort. Think of artists who find inspiration in joyful moments, or scientists who stumble upon breakthroughs while enjoying the process of experimentation. Their discoveries remind us that learning and growth often come from curiosity rather than struggle. As we evolve in our understanding of what it means to achieve and succeed, it becomes imperative to challenge the narratives that have long governed our beliefs about pain and gain. Forging a new path involves recognizing the balance between effort and self-care, and understanding that moments of ease can coalesce with persistence to create the most fulfilling journey. By appreciating the nuances of personal growth, we open ourselves up to a richer experience of life, one that values both the hardships and the joys. In summary, while there is a place for persistence in achieving goals, the idea that we must endure pain to find success is not only misleading, but can also have harmful consequences for our physical and mental well-being. Emphasizing balance, recovery, and a holistic approach to growth provides a more sustainable and fulfilling way to navigate challenges. This shift in perspective invites us to celebrate joy, foster creativity, and promote a more compassionate journey towards our ambitions, cultivating an understanding that true gains can be achieved without the need for suffering. Ultimately, it is this balance that leads to a healthier, more fulfilling existence. The idea that love can fix everything is one of the most pervasive myths in our culture. From movies to songs, we often hear that love conquers all, suggesting that with enough emotion, any problem can be resolved. However, believing that love alone can provide solutions to complex personal issues can be not only misguided, but also harmful. To begin with, the notion simplifies intricate problems. Human relationships, whether familial, platonic, or romantic, can be deeply affected by a multitude of factors, including past traumas, mental health issues, communication barriers, and differing values. For instance, consider a couple facing financial difficulties. Love might bring them closer, but without proper financial planning and open communication about money, those issues can lead to further stress and conflict. Here, love is important, but it is not an antidote. Additionally, the idea can create unrealistic expectations. When we buy into the myth that love can solve everything, we may overlook the importance of hard work, patience, and compromise. People often find themselves in relationships expecting their partner's love to magically resolve their personal struggles. This can lead to disappointment when reality hits hard. For example, if an individual grapples with feelings of low self-worth, they might believe that a loving partner can fill this void. When that doesn't happen, they can turn to resentment or even leave the relationship feeling unfulfilled. Another dangerous aspect of this myth is its potential to excuse unhealthy behaviors. If we believe that love is enough, we may ignore warning signs of toxicity in a relationship. For instance, someone might tolerate emotional or physical abuse, thinking that love will eventually change their partner or alter the situation. This mentality can trap individuals in harmful dynamics, convincing them to overlook their well-being for the sake of love. Moreover, this myth can lead to emotional dependency. When love is positioned as the ultimate solution, individuals may begin to rely on their partners for emotional stability in ways that are unhealthy. They may neglect their personal growth or stop nurturing friendships and passions outside the relationship. This can create an imbalance where one partner feels overwhelmed by the expectations placed upon them. Love, rather than being a source of strength, can become a burden. Culturally, this myth reinforces a narrative that devalues communication and conflict resolution skills. Instead of fostering open dialogues to tackle issues, individuals may resort to believing that if they truly loved each other, they wouldn't face these problems. This attitude can stifle personal growth and limit the opportunity to develop empathetic, constructive communication techniques. For example, a disagreement about child-rearing methods can lead to misunderstandings if partners assume that love alone should guide their choices. Rather than engaging in a fruitful conversation about their differing views, they may end up arguing and feeling increasingly distant. It's essential to understand that love is a vital aspect of any relationship, but it is not a cure-all. Love can be the foundation that helps individuals face life's challenges together, but it should come bundled with effective tools for addressing issues like conflict resolution, financial management, and emotional support. A successful partnership requires both individuals to put in the effort, time, and skills to navigate their journey together. Furthermore, Acknowledging that love cannot solve everything encourages individual responsibility. By recognizing that we each play a role in our happiness and well-being, we empower ourselves and our partners. Seeking personal development and self-care can provide the necessary tools to foster both individual and relationship growth. This may include therapy, self-reflection, and pursuing hobbies that bring joy outside of the relationship. In the realm of friendships, the myth can also manifest in concerning ways. Friends may feel pressure to be everything for one another, leading to scenarios where one person's struggles begin to strain the friendship. When love is the sole basis for support, we may unintentionally place excessive pressure on our friends, expecting them to understand and resolve our issues. In healthy friendships, support should be mutual and balanced, with both parties taking part in giving and receiving help. In conclusion, love is undoubtedly a powerful and transformative force, but it is not a panacea for all personal problems. Believing that love alone can solve complex issues can lead to misunderstanding, unhealthy dependencies, and disappointment. Real relationships, whether romantic or platonic, thrive on clear communication, mutual respect, and the willingness to work through challenges together. By embracing a more nuanced understanding of love, we cultivate healthier connections, better equipped to navigate life's complexities together. Ultimately, love can enhance our lives, but it is through effort, understanding, and a commitment to personal and mutual growth that we find the resolutions we seek. Money has been a topic of discussion for centuries. It plays a significant role in our lives, influencing countless decisions and shaping experiences. The notion that money can buy happiness is a popular belief. After all, financial comfort often brings a sense of security, access to opportunities, and the ability to enjoy life's pleasures. However, research reveals a more nuanced picture of the relationship between money and happiness, highlighting the limits of wealth in fostering true contentment. The first aspect to consider is the well-known idea of diminishing returns. Studies show that up to a certain point, an increase in income correlates with increased happiness. For example, individuals earning below a certain threshold often experience significant boosts in life satisfaction as their financial situation improves. This threshold varies by region and country, but typically hovers around a basic level of security, enough to cover essential needs like food, housing, and healthcare. Beyond this point, the relationship between money and happiness becomes less straightforward. As we accumulate wealth, the additional satisfaction we gain from each extra dollar diminishes. Wealthier individuals often find themselves chasing new desires, leading to an endless cycle of wanting more. For instance, consider someone who achieves a higher income and decides to buy a luxury car. Initially, this purchase might evoke feelings of pleasure and excitement. However, over time, the novelty fades, and that joy slips away, pushing them to seek out new luxuries or experiences to regain that sense of elation. Moreover, research indicates that experiences, rather than material possessions, tend to lead to greater and more lasting happiness. When people invest their money in experiences, such as travel, concerts, or classes, they create memories that contribute to their overall life satisfaction. Experiences not only bring joy in the moment, but they also build a sense of connection with others. Human interaction plays a crucial role in cultivating happiness, and shared experiences with friends and family can strengthen relationships and create lasting bonds. One study conducted by psychologists found that spending money on others can significantly enhance feelings of happiness. Participants who engaged in acts of kindness, such as buying gifts for friends or donating to charity, reported feeling more fulfilled than those who made purchases for themselves. This phenomenon can be attributed to the psychological rewards we receive from altruism. Helping others fosters a sense of purpose and connectedness that money alone cannot provide. Additionally, the pursuit of wealth can sometimes lead to a sense of isolation or stress. The pressures associated with maintaining financial success may result in a continuous state of anxiety. Individuals who focus excessively on accumulating wealth might neglect the relationships and personal fulfillment that contribute to lasting happiness. This is often where the phrase, "money can't buy happiness," finds its truth, as the chase for wealth can distract individuals from nurturing their emotional and social needs. It's essential to recognize that cultural factors influence how we perceive the relationship between money and happiness. In some societies, wealth is viewed as a status symbol, and individuals may measure their success based on their financial standing. This could potentially create a culture of competition, where people feel pressured to constantly achieve more, leading to dissatisfaction and unhappiness. On the other hand, cultures that prioritize community and relationships may demonstrate a different perspective, showing that fulfillment often lies in social connections rather than financial status. When we evaluate the impact of money on our happiness, it is vital to consider the role of personal values. Some individuals may find immense satisfaction in experiences of social justice, creativity, or personal growth, which cannot be measured in monetary terms. Conversely, those who attach their self-worth to financial success may find themselves in a constant struggle for validation. Ultimately, aligning our spending habits with our core values can foster a deeper sense of fulfillment, regardless of our financial situation. While money can undoubtedly alleviate stress related to basic needs and enhance life's experiences, it is essential to remember that true happiness often resides in the intangible components of life. Relationships, personal growth, and a sense of belonging play significant roles in creating a fulfilling existence. In the end, it may not be the money itself that helps us thrive, but rather how we choose to spend it and the values that guide our decisions. By focusing on experiences and connections, we may find that happiness lies not in our bank accounts, but in our hearts and interactions with others. The phrase, "nice guys finish last," has become a popular expression in our culture, often used to express the sentiment that those who are kind, gentle, or accommodating in romantic endeavors are overlooked in favor of those who are more assertive or even aggressive. This belief suggests that there is an intrinsic unfairness in the way relationships develop, with kind-hearted individuals being passed over for seemingly more appealing partners. However, this trope deserves a closer examination to uncover its roots and to understand that kindness itself does not determine romantic success or failure. The origins of this phrase can be traced back to a combination of cultural narratives and psychological perceptions around dating and relationships. The classic trope of a nice guy often pits him against a bad boy figure, creating a dichotomy in how romantic desirability is perceived. Often, the bad boy is portrayed as confident, adventurous, and daring, traits that are sometimes inaccurately correlated with desirability. This narrative paints a picture where kindness is interpreted as weakness, suggesting that the nice guy should adopt tougher or more assertive qualities to become attractive. However, this perspective simplifies the complexities of human attraction and relationships. Cultural influences, from literature to film, have played a significant role in perpetuating this notion. In many romantic comedies or dramas, The nice guy often remains in the background, while the more dynamic and sometimes unkind characters take center stage. This not only reinforces the stereotype, but also suggests that the nice guy is somehow entitled to love and affection simply for his good behavior. This raises an important point about the assumption that kindness alone can guarantee romantic success. Attraction is a multifaceted experience influenced by personal chemistry, shared interests, values, and emotional connection, rather than just the presence of kindness. Moreover, the idea that being nice will automatically yield positive romantic outcomes can lead to a dangerous mindset. When individuals expect that their kindness should be reciprocated with affection, they might develop feelings of resentment when their expectations are not met. This expectation can create pressure and anxiety around romantic interactions instead of fostering genuine connections. Additionally, labeling oneself as a nice guy can become a means of manipulation, where the notion of being nice is employed as a tactic to gain favor or affection, which is counterproductive. Kindness does not equate to passivity, nor does it imply that one should shy away from being assertive in romantic pursuits. Healthy relationships often thrive on open communication, mutual respect, and emotional intelligence. Individuals who embrace kindness as part of a well-rounded personality, coupled with assertiveness and self-awareness, tend to experience more fulfilling connections. Kindness combined with confidence can create a dynamic energy that is attractive and inviting. Furthermore, research in psychology reveals that qualities such as humor, emotional stability, and the ability to form deep connections are often more significant to romantic attraction than merely being nice. These attributes encourage partners to engage with one another on a deeper level, creating a sense of intimacy that is essential for lasting relationships. Additionally, kindness expresses itself in various ways, whether through active listening, empathy, or genuine concern for a partner's well-being, all of which contribute to building stronger bonds. It is also essential to recognize that societal norms and value systems influence perceptions of kindness and desirability. Different cultures may place varying emphasis on characteristics perceived as attractive. In some contexts, kindness may indeed be revered, resulting in healthier dynamics in romantic relationships. Thus, the idea of nice guys finishing last might not be universally applicable, but rather a reflection of the specific societal environment and prevailing attitudes toward relationship. In summary, the phrase, "nice guys finish last," serves as an oversimplification of the complexities involved in romantic attraction. While kindness is undoubtedly a valuable trait, it should not be seen as a solitary predictor of romantic outcomes. Instead, embracing a multifaceted view of attraction that includes emotional intelligence, self-awareness, assertiveness, and genuine connection offers a fuller understanding of what contributes to successful relationship. By shifting the narrative away from the notion that being nice is a disadvantage, individuals can approach their romantic lives with authenticity and a deeper appreciation for the richness of human connections. In a world that often celebrates appearances and the idea of putting on a brave face, the phrase, "fake it till you make it," has become a common mantra. Many individuals adopt this approach, believing that by pretending to be confident, successful, or knowledgeable, they can eventually embody those qualities. While there can be momentary benefits to this mindset, it is important to explore the potential dangers and disadvantages that come with pretending, and to understand why authenticity might hold far greater value. At its core, faking it often involves projecting an image of success or confidence that may not align with one's true self. This can lead to intense pressure as maintaining a facade requires constant effort and can be mentally exhausting. Imagine waking up every day, preparing to don a mask that you're not entirely comfortable with. Over time, this act can create a dissonance between your inner world and your outward behavior, leading to feelings of anxiety and inadequacy. The fear of being exposed or found out can become overwhelming, leading to increased stress and even burnout. Moreover, pretending can create a significant disconnect in personal relationships. When individuals present a version of themselves that isn't genuine, it becomes challenging for others to build authentic connections. The essence of human interaction often lies in vulnerability and sharing genuine experiences. However, the facade can create barriers, preventing people from truly understanding each other. Think about it. If you constantly project an image of someone who has it all together, where do you allow space for compassion, mistakes, and growth? Friendships and connections flourish in authenticity, and when those authentic components are missing, relationships may feel shallow or unsatisfying. Another disadvantage of faking it is that it can hinder personal growth. Embracing authentic struggles and challenges is a vital part of development. When individuals choose to ignore their real feelings or experiences in favor of a curated persona, they miss out on valuable lessons that come from confronting their true selves. Growth often stems from facing adversity head-on and learning from those experiences. By pretending to be someone they are not, individuals may inadvertently stifle their own progress and miss opportunities for meaningful self-discovery. It's also worth noting that the fake it till you make it approach can lead to a reliance on external validation. When one's self-worth is tied to how well they can perform a role or mimic behaviors, it can create a precarious cycle of needing affirmation from others. This reliance can be toxic, surrounding oneself with individuals who value surface appearances rather than genuine traits can leave one feeling unfulfilled. The pursuit of acceptance, based on an inauthentic self, is ultimately a hollow endeavor, often leading to isolation rather than the community that one truly seeks. Furthermore, over time, the distinction between your authentic self and the version you project can blur. This clash can lead to a feeling of losing control over one's identity. Imagine looking in the mirror and finding it difficult to recall who you truly are beneath layers of pretense. This phenomenon can create an identity crisis where the fear of not measuring up to one's own expectations or the expectations of others can be paralyzing. The longer one continues to fake it, the more entrenched that mindset can become, leading to confusion and a sense of disconnection from oneself. In contrast, embracing authenticity can lead to greater fulfillment. When individuals choose to present their true selves, they invite genuine relationships and create a space for empathy and understanding. It encourages others to do the same, fostering an environment where vulnerability is not only acceptable, but celebrated. Taking off the mask allows people to connect on a deeper level, sharing experiences, thoughts, and emotions that resonate with mutual understanding. Additionally, by valuing authenticity, one aligns with their personal values, creating a sense of integrity and self-respect. Engaging with the world as one truly is not just liberating, it is empowering. It allows for honest conversations and sets the stage for real connections. Think of the warmth of a heartfelt conversation with a loved one, unfiltered and true. That depth is rarely found in interactions where facades dominate. In navigating the balance between ambition and authenticity, it can be beneficial to approach challenges with a mindset rooted in honesty rather than pretense. Instead of faking confidence, seeking out opportunities for real growth, such as learning from experiences or leaning on support systems, can ultimately foster a more profound sense of achievement. This gives way to a journey that is not driven by external expectations, but rather by personal aspirations and a genuine desire. Ultimately, while the idea of faking it till you make it may offer short-term solutions or a temporary boost, the long-term effects of presenting an inauthentic self can be detrimental to personal happiness and fulfillment. Recognizing the value of authenticity is crucial in a world saturated with curated images and performed personas. By choosing to embrace your true self, flaws, strengths, and all, you not only pave the way for more meaningful connections, but also cultivate a life rich in purpose and self-acceptance. Authenticity allows individuals to thrive genuinely, leading to deeper engagement with themselves and the world around them. In this journey, the heart of human experience flourishes in honesty, compassion, and connection, making authenticity not just valuable, but essential. The notion that sleep is for the weak has been a recurring theme throughout history, often championed in ambitious cultures or among high-achieving individuals who prioritize productivity. This idea suggests that those who succeed do so by sacrificing hours of rest, pushing boundaries, and staying awake during the late hours of the night. But where did this belief originate? And what does modern science tell us about the relationship between sleep, productivity, and overall well-being? Historically, the glorification of sleeplessness can be traced back to various cultural narratives. In many industrious societies, particularly during the Industrial Revolution, long work hours were often celebrated as a testament to dedication and hard work. Figures like Benjamin Franklin famously promoted the idea of early rising and productive labor, further embedding the idea that sleep is a luxury. This ethos continued to permeate throughout the decades, leading many to equate success with relentless work schedules, often at the expense of health and well-being. In recent times, however, this perspective has been challenged by a growing body of scientific research. Studies consistently show that sleep is not just a passive state of rest, but an active process that plays a crucial role in numerous bodily functions. For example, during sleep, your body engages in a range of essential activities, such as repairing tissues, synthesizing proteins, and regulating hormones. The importance of sleep for cognitive function also cannot be overstated. Research demonstrates that adequate rest enhances memory retention, improves decision-making skills, and boosts overall creativity. Moreover, an intriguing study published in the journal Sleep found that adults who sleep less than 7 hours per night are more likely to experience a decline in their cognitive performance. On the other hand, individuals who prioritize restorative sleep have been shown to be more effective in their tasks and responsibilities. This debunks the myth that productivity thrives on sleeplessness. Instead, it highlights the importance of rest as a vital component of high performance. The impacts of sleep deprivation extend beyond cognitive abilities, affecting emotional stability and interpersonal relationships as well. When an individual is deprived of adequate sleep, they might experience heightened irritability, increased stress levels, and a diminished ability to empathize with others. By fostering a mindset that equates sleeplessness with strength, we turn ourselves into highly unproductive individuals in terms of creativity and emotional intelligence. Interestingly, the idea that sleep is for the weak is further undermined by looking at various high-achieving individuals in history who embraced rest. Icons like Leonardo da Vinci and Albert Einstein were known advocates of napping, illustrating a more balanced approach to work and rest. They understood that brief periods of downtime could lead to greater clarity and insight in their work. By taking a break, they allowed their minds to recharge, leading to groundbreaking ideas and innovative thinking. In today's fast-paced world, the clash between productivity and rest continues. High-pressure environments often promote the hustle culture, where individuals are expected to work long hours to demonstrate commitment. Yet, industries across various sectors are starting to recognize the importance of employee well-being. Companies that encourage flexible hours, promote a healthy work-life balance, and prioritize employee health are finding this leads to lower turnover rates and greater job satisfaction. Moreover, global initiatives emphasize the need to pay attention to sleep as part of a healthy lifestyle. World Sleep Day serves as a reminder that quality sleep should be celebrated, raising awareness of its importance. Medical professionals now advocate for appropriate sleep hygiene practices and suggest strategies that can help improve sleep quality, such as maintaining regular sleep schedules and creating restful environments. As we critically examine the belief that sleep is for the weak, it becomes increasingly clear that rest is a strength, not a weakness. Rather than seeing sleep as an obstacle to productivity, it should be viewed as a fundamental aspect of sustaining and enhancing our abilities. By embracing this understanding, we step closer to a healthier society that values balance, well-being, and optimal performance. In conclusion, as we navigate through daily demands and strive for success, the narrative surrounding sleep must evolve. Reclaiming our nights and granting ourselves the grace to rest can lead to a more innovative, productive, and harmonious life. By shattering the misconceptions that rest signifies weakness, we pave the way for a future where well-being and productivity coexist, leading to richer experiences and greater achievements in our lives. It is time to honor the value of restorative sleep and recognize that embracing this essential element of life is not only wise, but a key component of genuine strength. In many societies, the idea of equal opportunity is cherished as a fundamental principle, one that evokes images of fairness and justice for all individuals. However, when we delve deeper into this notion, we begin to uncover the complexities and realities that challenge the belief in a truly level playing field. The truth is, achieving equal opportunity is often hampered by systemic barriers deeply embedded in education, work, and the economy. Let's begin by exploring education. The foundational belief is that every child, regardless of their background, should have access to high-quality education. However, the reality tells a different story. Schools in wealthier neighborhoods are often better funded, equipped with advanced technology, and staffed by experienced teachers. In contrast, schools in lower-income areas may struggle with inadequate resources, crowded classrooms, and underqualified instructors. This disparity can significantly affect the quality of education students receive, setting them on divergent paths even before they enter the workforce. A look into higher education highlights another significant layer to this issue. The escalating costs of college tuition can put higher education out of reach for many. While there are scholarships and financial aid options available, they may not fully bridge the gap for everyone. Students from families of lower socioeconomic status often face the daunting challenge of balancing multiple jobs, caring for families, or managing debts, which can detract from their ability to focus on their studies. These challenges can perpetuate cycles of disadvantage, making it difficult for some to fully realize their potential in an academic environment. Now, shifting our focus to the workplace, the myth of equal opportunity is further exposed. When individuals enter the job market, they encounter not just competition, but also biases and barriers that can influence hiring and career advancement. Studies consistently show that applicants with traditionally ethnic-sounding names may face discrimination, receiving fewer callbacks than those with more commonly recognized names. This phenomenon highlights the impact of implicit bias in hiring processes, suggesting that what seems fair on the surface may not be truly equitable beneath. The concept of networking can also challenge the narrative of equal opportunity in the workplace. Personal connections often play a significant role in securing job opportunities. Individuals from privileged backgrounds may have more access to networks that can propel their careers forward. Conversely, those from underrepresented groups might find themselves at a disadvantage, lacking these connections that can open doors to better job prospects and advancement opportunities. This lack of access can widen existing inequalities even further. Economic disparities reflect similar challenges. The classic belief that hard work and dedication lead to financial success does not account for the array of factors influencing individual circumstances. Economic mobility is often limited by factors like family wealth, local job availability, and access to resources like childcare and transportation. For instance, individuals born into lower-income families face considerable hurdles in accessing the capital necessary to start their own businesses or invest in their education. These barriers create a cycle where the rich can become richer, while the poor continue to struggle. Moreover, the impact of systems of oppression, like racism and sexism, must not be overlooked in this discussion. These factors often intersect with economic and educational disadvantages, creating a multifaceted landscape where individuals face compounded barriers. Women and minorities might encounter obstacles such as wage gaps or fewer opportunities for promotion, regardless of their qualifications or ambition. This reveals a stark reality. Personal ability and drive, while essential, do not always dictate success in a system fraught with inequalities. In addition to these challenges, we must also recognize the role of social capital in navigating opportunities. Those with greater social capital, often linked to their family background or community connections, may have a significantly better chance of securing internships, mentorships, and jobs that provide them with substantial career advantages. This begs the question, how can we foster environments that truly nurture talent from all walks of life and break down these entrenched barriers? Ultimately, acknowledging the myth of a level playing field invites critical reflection on the structures that shape our society. Equal opportunity is not simply about equal access to resources. It requires concerted efforts to dismantle the obstacles that prevent individuals from achieving their full potential. It calls for equitable educational funding, fair hiring practices, and inclusive policies that uplift those who have been historically marginalized. By recognizing and addressing these disparities, we can begin to work toward a future where the ideas of fairness and opportunity are not just aspirations, but tangible realities for everyone. While the journey is complex and fraught with challenges, the potential for change and a more equitable society lies within our collective commitment to fostering true equality in education, work, and the economy. Together, we can strive to create pathways that genuinely lead to success for all individuals, irrespective of their starting point in life. The phrase, forgive and forget, has often been presented as a universal remedy for conflict and emotional distress, suggesting that letting go of grievances is the ultimate path toward personal peace and harmony in relationship. It sounds appealing. However, the reality of navigating human emotions is far more intricate. There are moments in life when simply forgiving someone and erasing the memory of an offense may not be feasible, beneficial, or even healthy. Let's explore the complexities surrounding forgiveness and the alternatives that can lead to genuine healing. When someone has wronged us, it can be tempting to dismiss the pain, chalking it up to a mere mistake or a lapse in judgment. Yet, ignoring the impact of an offense doesn't always promote healing. Instead, it can lead to unresolved feelings, festering hurt, and even resentment. In essence, forgiveness that is forced or superficial may give the appearance of resolution, but often lacks the depth required for true emotional recovery. It's important to understand that acknowledging the offense is a critical part of the healing process. Consider the scenario of betrayal by a close friend. This experience can be profoundly painful, not just because of the act itself, but because of the trust that has been broken. Saying "I forgive you," while opting to forget the event entirely, can dismiss the significance of the relationship and the lessons that can be learned. Instead, confronting the reality of what happened, expressing feelings honestly, and having open dialogues about the incident may pave the way for deeper understanding and re-establish trust. Forgiveness is a complex journey that varies from person to person. Different individuals have different thresholds for pain, making it impossible to standardize how one should approach the process. For some, forgiveness might come quickly. For others, it may take years. Additionally, societal pressures can create expectations around forgiveness that are unrealistic. The idea that one should forgive readily can lead to guilt, especially when an individual is still grappling with feelings of hurt. Understanding that healing is a personal endeavor allows one to break free from these often unspoken dictates. Moreover, the act of forgetting can become problematic. While it might seem desirable to wipe the slate clean, suppressing memories is known to lead to emotional dissonance. Feelings, if left unprocessed, have a tendency to resurface, often in unhealthy or disruptive ways. Instead of pushing aside negative emotions, recognizing and accepting them is key to reclaiming one's sense of self. Engaging with these feelings can lead to increased emotional resilience and maturity. As alternatives to the forgive and forget approach, one can turn toward strategies that promote authentic healing. One such method is cultivating compassion. This does not mean condoning the hurtful behavior, but rather placing oneself in the shoes of the offender. Understanding what they might have been going through at that moment can help in recognizing the complexities of human behavior. Empathy can powerfully transform our perspective and lessen the grip of negative emotions. Another approach is to focus on personal boundaries. While forgiveness can open the door to reconciliation, setting healthy limits is crucial, especially if the relationship still poses a threat to well-being. Boundaries serve as protective measures, ensuring that while forgiving is possible, it doesn't lead to repeating negative patterns. Learning how to assertively communicate these boundaries can foster healthier interactions moving forward. Journaling can also be a profoundly impactful tool that aids in the healing process. Writing about one's feelings allows individuals to articulate their experiences and process emotions in a safe space. It creates an opportunity for reflection, shedding light on feelings that might remain buried otherwise. Furthermore, it provides a tangible path to track one's progress, revealing how thoughts and feelings evolve over time. Engaging in constructive conversations is another vital aspect of this journey. Sometimes, discussing the incident with a trusted confidant or therapist can lead to insights that are difficult to uncover alone. They can offer different perspectives and coping strategies, prompting a deeper analysis of the situation and the emotions involved. Creating a dialogue about personal feelings can promote understanding and even validate one's experiences. Ultimately, healing involves reclaiming personal agency. Individuals must recognize that they deserve to feel whole and empowered, regardless of others' actions. This acknowledgement is a crucial step toward meaningful recovery. Rather than obliging oneself to forgive and forget, it's healthier to forge a path that emphasizes honest reflection, openness to emotional complexities, and the courage to set boundaries. In conclusion, the phrase "forgive and forget" may appear to offer a simple solution to conflict. However, it often oversimplifies the intricate nature of human emotions. True healing requires a more nuanced approach. By fostering compassion, setting boundaries, journaling, and engaging in dialogue, we can navigate our emotions and embrace a journey toward genuine healing. Remember, healing is personal, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Embracing your own process, in all its complexity and richness, is the key to moving forward authentically. The phrase "you can do anything you want" is an empowering message that often resonates deeply with those seeking motivation or inspiration. It evokes a sense of limitless potential and possibility. However, while this sentiment can spark the enthusiasm to pursue dreams and aspirations, it is essential to take a step back and assess the realities that shape our experiences. The truth is that our journey is often influenced by various factors, including circumstance, ability, and available resources. These can act as both barriers and stepping stones. Understanding the role these elements play allows us to set more realistic expectations while still fostering a mindset geared towards ambition. Starting with circumstance, life often presents us with situations we cannot control. For instance, someone born into a challenging environment may encounter systemic barriers that hinder their pursuits. The saying goes that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But what if the opportunity to work hard is simply out of reach? Consider the aspiring musician who comes from a small town with limited access to instruments, training, or support. Their environment may impose limits that require navigating creative solutions that many in more privileged positions may not even consider. Circumstances dictate not just our opportunities, but also how we perceive our capabilities. A sense of responsibility, such as caring for family members or managing financial obligations, can steer priorities away from personal aspirations. This doesn't mean one can't succeed, but it does highlight that the roadmap to success varies considerably from one individual to another. Next, let us explore ability. Everyone possesses a unique set of skills and talents that shape their potential. While it is true that passion can often bridge the gap where innate ability may fall short, there are moments when certain endeavors require specific skills or proficiencies. For example, consider an individual who dreams of becoming an engineer without an aptitude for mathematics or spatial reasoning. While determination is crucial, it may not be sufficient alone. This doesn't imply that one should abandon their dreams, but rather it suggests a more in-depth evaluation of how personal strengths align with aspirations. This can lead to greater self-discovery, where an individual might realize that their true calling resides in the arts or entrepreneurship, rather than in engineering. The journey entails transforming perceived limitations into opportunities for growth. Finally, let's discuss resources. Resources can encompass financial support, access to education, networking opportunities, and even time. The vast differences in resources available to individuals can drastically alter the landscape of their ambitions. An aspiring author with the financial freedom to attend workshops, purchase materials, and dedicate time to writing could potentially have a much different experience than another who cannot afford these essentials. However, resource limitations do not inherently thwart ambitions. In fact, they often enhance creativity. Many successful individuals have risen from challenging situations by employing innovative strategies or seeking alternative paths. The artist sells their work online rather than through a gallery, or the entrepreneur starts a business from a small home office instead of a commercial space. These adaptations illustrate the resilience and ingenuity humans possess when faced with limitations. It is also worth noting that resource availability can be dynamic. What may seem insurmountable at one point can shift with time. Initiatives, grants, community programs, and evolving technologies can create new opportunities. An artist today can reach a global audience through social media, many of whom would have remained unknown just a generation ago. In exploring these dimensions, it becomes apparent that the adage "you can do anything you want," despite its motivational intent, can benefit from a more nuanced interpretation. It's not about denying obstacles, but embracing and confronting them with a strategic mindset. Acknowledging the limits imposed by circumstance, ability, and resources does not diminish ambition. Instead, it enhances our understanding of the pathways available. This comprehensive approach encourages setting realistic goals and celebrating progress, no matter how small. It also fosters a community among seekers of all backgrounds, reminding us that each individual's journey is unique. So, the next time you hear the encouraging phrase "you can do anything you want," remember to pair it with an honest assessment of the circumstances surrounding you, the abilities you possess, and the resources at your disposal. Celebrate the valiant effort and creativity rather than just the outcome. With this balanced perspective, the drive for improvement can coexist with an appreciation for one's unique situation, leading to a more fulfilling and enriched life experience. The world is full of possibilities, and with the right mindset and strategies, one can craft a journey that reflects personal aspirations while acknowledging the reality of life's intricate landscape. Time is often portrayed as a great healer. The saying, "Time heals all wounds," suggests that whatever pain we experience will eventually fade away as days, months, and years pass. While there is an element of truth to this notion, it oversimplifies the complex nature of human emotions and trauma. Understanding why time alone cannot erase trauma requires an exploration of what trauma is, how it affects us, and what genuine recovery entails. Trauma is not just a moment of distress, but rather an experience that can alter the way individuals perceive the world. For example, consider someone who has experienced a serious car accident. The physical wounds may heal over weeks or months, but the emotional scars can linger. Many survivors find themselves replaying the event in their minds, feeling anxious behind the wheel long after the car is fixed. This shows that while the body may heal with time, the mind often requires more than just the passage of days to process difficult memories. The effects of trauma are not always visible. Often, they manifest as anxiety, depression, or behavioral changes. People may find themselves withdrawing from social interactions or developing a heightened sense of alertness, always searching for danger. These responses are instinctive and show that the mind is still on high alert, trying to protect itself from reminders of past pain. Time can provide distance from the event, but it doesn't automatically resolve the emotional chaos that accompanies it. Recovery isn't merely a function of time. It requires active engagement with the experience. One of the key components of healing is understanding the impact of the trauma. This involves acknowledging feelings, whether that's fear, sadness, anger, or confusion. A survivor of trauma might feel lost, struggling to make sense of what happened. By addressing these emotions head-on, individuals can begin to unravel the complexities of their experiences and how those experiences have shaped their lives. Delving into the impact of trauma can sometimes be painful. It often requires individuals to confront memories that they might want to bury. However, as uncomfortable as this process can be, it is essential for true healing. Similar to untangling a knot, if one only pulls at the strands without addressing the core issue, the knot may remain, becoming tighter over time. Working through trauma with a therapist or a trusted friend can serve as an important step in understanding and reprocessing those feelings. In addition to confronting emotions, recovery often involves building a support system. Connecting with others who have faced similar challenges can be immensely beneficial. This shared experience fosters an environment where individuals do not feel isolated in their emotions. For instance, consider a support group for survivors of abuse. Here, members can share their stories, not only helping each other find solace, but also learning how different approaches have worked for others in their healing journey. Engaging in self-care is another vital part of recovery. This can include teaching oneself to practice mindfulness, engaging in physical activities, or pursuing creative outlets. Activities such as journaling allow individuals to express their feelings in a tangible way. Taking walks in nature can offer a peaceful respite where one can reflect. All these practices help in processing trauma over time and can accelerate the healing journey. Furthermore, setting small, achievable goals can provide a sense of empowerment. Individuals can start by incorporating simple routines into their daily lives. Each small victory creates a positive feedback loop that reinforces the idea that progress is possible, even if it feels slow. Celebrating these victories, no matter how minor, can build self-esteem and restore a sense of control that may have felt lost during the traumatic experience. Moreover, education plays a unique role in recovery. Learning about the effects of trauma can demystify the emotional responses that arise from it. The more one understands about trauma, the better equipped they will be to navigate their feelings and reactions. Many resources, including books, workshops, and online courses, provide valuable insights that empower individuals to embrace their healing process with knowledge and support. So, while the passage of time has its role in the healing process, it is not the panacea that many believe it to be. Genuine recovery demands active participation, whether through confronting emotions, engaging with a support network, practicing self-care, or educating oneself on the nature of trauma. It is essential to remember that healing is not linear, and everyone's journey looks different. What is important is to approach recovery with compassion, patience, and an understanding that with time and effort, clarity and peace can arise from confusion and pain. As we process the complexities of trauma and our responses to it, we find that time will surely contribute to our journey. But it is the actions we take during that time that will ultimately shape our transformation. Each step, no matter how small, acts as a building block towards a future where we can engage with life, free from the shadows of what we have endured. Embracing the journey toward understanding and recovery can lead to profound changes in our lives, reshaping our relationships with ourselves and the world around us. In a world that constantly glorifies tenacity, we often hear the phrase, "Quitters never win." This idea is deeply ingrained in our society, where perseverance is celebrated, and those who abandon their pursuits are seen as failures. However, It is essential to challenge this stigma around quitting and recognize that there are moments when letting go can be healthier and more beneficial than relentless persistence. Consider the journey of personal development. Many people set goals, whether they are related to their careers, relationships, or personal achievements. Throughout this process, the societal pressure to keep pushing forward can feel overwhelming. You may hear voices in your head echoing the importance of never giving up. Yet, have you ever stopped to think about what really drives that urge? Often, it stems from fear or a sense of obligation rather than a genuine passion for the pursuit. Let's explore the concept of quitting through the lens of a job. Imagine you have been in a role for several years and have great experiences, but lately, it feels wrong. The excitement has faded, and the work environment has changed, becoming toxic or misaligned with your values. The choice to leave this position may initially feel like a defeat. However, stepping away could open the door to new opportunities that reignite your passion and align with your true self. Similarly, think about relationships. Sometimes, you may find that a friendship or partnership is not serving you or your well-being. While it can be challenging to walk away from a relationship, especially if it has a long history, recognizing when a bond is unhealthy is a powerful act of self-respect. Letting go means you are prioritizing your mental health and opening the space for more positive influences in your life. Let's also take a look at the realm of hobbies and personal interests. Have you ever spent hours on a project only to realize that it no longer brings you joy? Whether it's painting, writing, or playing an instrument, what if you discovered that your enthusiasm had faded? Many may persevere, feeling they should stick with it. But sometimes, taking a break or quitting entirely can revitalize your creativity. You might just need to step away to explore something new, something that sparks excitement and reignites your passion. Even in the context of health and fitness, the idea of quitting can be mistaken. People often impose rigid standards on themselves, driven by the quest for an ideal body or fitness regimen. But if that regimen becomes a source of stress or injury, letting go is not a failure. Instead, it shows wisdom and understanding of your body's needs. Adapting your approach or finding new activities that promote joy and well-being can be far more beneficial than sticking to a plan that brings unhappiness. Moreover, let's consider the role of societal expectations. Many individuals feel pressured to follow traditional paths in education or career choices. It is okay to change your mind about what you want to pursue. Embracing a different path or letting go of established norms can lead to discovering your true passion, one that aligns with who you are and what you want to contribute to the world. Now, imagine a situation like this. You are deeply invested in a sport, dedicating hours to practice and competition. Over time, your interests shift, and you feel a pull toward another passion. Resisting that change can lead to burnout. In contrast, embracing the idea of letting go can lead you to explore and discover new talents. This pivot from one interest to another can create a more well-rounded and fulfilling life. This need for reevaluation extends to larger issues too. Consider a business venture that once seemed promising. As time passes, market trends change, and what once thrived is now struggling. Sticking with a failing concept out of stubbornness could lead to further losses, while pivoting or cutting losses can facilitate new opportunities. Quitting can free you to redirect your energy toward innovative ideas, potentially leading to great success. It's vital to acknowledge that letting go doesn't mean you are weak or giving up. It signifies strength, self-awareness, and a commitment to a better future. Quitting can be strategic, empowering, and even liberating. It allows you to make room for new experiences, joys, and perspectives. In conversations surrounding quitting, it's often essential to reframe the narrative. Instead of thinking of quitting as a defeat, consider it a step in a broader journey. Each choice creates room for growth and exploration. Letting go can be an act of courage, inviting personal growth and fostering a mindset that prioritizes well-being over societal expectations. Ultimately, by challenging the stigma around quitting, we embrace the complexity of our human experiences. Life is filled with transitions, and each step, including those that involve letting go, is part of a broader journey toward fulfillment and happiness. Reflect on your own life choices. What could you let go of? What new horizons await you? Embrace the idea that sometimes quitting is not only acceptable, it can be the catalyst for something truly wonderful. In a world that often seems filled with obstacles, the power of self-confidence is immensely valuable. It is the belief in one's abilities and the conviction that one can achieve goals or overcome challenges. Self-confidence can indeed propel individuals toward success, encourage resilience, and foster a sense of agency in various areas of life, from personal endeavors to professional achievements. This strong sense of self can inspire you to accept new opportunities, engage with others, and pursue dreams that may have once felt out of reach. However, while confidence plays a critical role in personal development, it is essential to recognize that it does not automatically dismantle structural or systemic barriers that exist in society. To better understand the impact of self-confidence, imagine a young artist with a dream of showcasing their work in a prestigious gallery. Their self-confidence can motivate them to create fiercely, apply to galleries, and network with other artists. They may believe in their talent and have the conviction that their work deserves to be seen. This belief can fuel their passion and creativity, often leading to remarkable opportunities. Yet, despite their talent and drive, they might face systemic barriers, such as socioeconomic factors that limit access to quality materials or mentorship, or institutional biases that favor certain demographics over others. Self-confidence can provide an individual with the courage to navigate these challenges, but it cannot change the underlying systems that create these obstacles. For instance, consider an ambitious entrepreneur trying to launch a startup. Their confidence may encourage them to pitch their business idea to investors. However, if they lack access to capital due to systemic inequalities or biased funding practices, their journey becomes significantly more difficult. While their belief in themselves is crucial, it does not alter the reality of the structural barriers they face, highlighting that confidence alone cannot overcome deeply embedded challenge. Additionally, self-confidence can sometimes mask the impact of systemic barriers. When individuals succeed in overcoming obstacles through sheer determination, it is easy to overlook the context of privilege or systemic advantages that may have played a role in their journey. For example, a confident individual from an affluent background may navigate challenges more easily than someone from a less privileged background, even if both possess similar levels of talent or capability. This discrepancy illustrates how structural inequalities can affect outcomes, even in cases where individuals exhibit high self-confidence. In educational settings, students with self-confidence are more likely to participate in class, voice their opinions, and pursue advanced courses. However, systematic disparities in educational resources and support can still hinder those efforts. A confident student might strive for excellence, but if their school lacks adequate funding, mentorship programs, or advanced placement options, Their academic experience may still be limited by external factors. The confidence they possess does not change the availability of educational resources, nor does it create equitable opportunities for all. Moreover, the relationship between self-confidence and systemic barriers can often lead to misconceptions about responsibility and blame. When individuals struggle to achieve their goals despite their confidence, there may be a tendency to attribute their failure to a lack of effort or belief in oneself. This misguided viewpoint overlooks the reality that many people face hurdles that are entirely beyond their control. By focusing solely on self-confidence, we risk unintentionally perpetuating the narrative that personal shortcomings are to blame for failure, rather than acknowledging the broader contextual factors that play a significant role. To cultivate a more inclusive understanding, it is vital to pair discussions about self-confidence with awareness of systemic barriers. Encouraging individuals to develop confidence is essential for personal growth and empowerment, but it must be integrated with efforts to address the structural inequalities that exist in society. Initiatives can be taken at various levels, from individual, educational, and workplace to policy realms, to create environments that nurture confidence while also actively working to eliminate barriers. This dual approach fosters a more equitable society, where confidence can genuinely lead to meaningful opportunities for all. Ultimately, self-confidence is a powerful tool that can enhance personal agency and resilience. It has the potential to inspire us to reach for our dreams and encourage others to do the same. Yet, we must also be vigilant about the systemic forces at play that can hinder progress. Recognizing the relationship between self-confidence and structural barriers allows us to approach personal development holistically. By cultivating confidence in ourselves and our communities, while concurrently addressing systemic challenges, we enhance our capacity for positive change. Together, we can build a future where self-confidence thrives alongside equity, creating a space where everyone has the opportunity to reach their potential, unencumbered by structural limitations. In a world that often celebrates selflessness, the idea of putting others first can seem noble and admirable. Yet, amidst this dedication to supporting and caring for others, there lies a critical lesson about balance and the importance of self-care. Understanding this balance can significantly impact not only our well-being, but also the quality of the care we extend to others. First, let's explore the concept of self-care. Self-care is a broad term that incorporates a variety of practices and habits designed to enhance overall well-being. It's not simply about pampering oneself with spa days or leisurely afternoons. It involves a conscious effort to nurture our physical, emotional, and mental health. Think of it as replenishing your energy reserves. Just like a car needs fuel to run efficiently, our bodies and minds require proper nourishment, rest, and care to function at their best. Imagine a busy parent who dedicates all their time to their children, often neglecting their own needs. They may skip meals, forego exercise, or compromise their sleep schedule, insisting that this sacrifice is for the greater good of their family. While it is commendable to prioritize loved ones, this constant pattern of putting others first can lead to a point of exhaustion. When that parent finally reaches their limit, they may find themselves feeling irritable, fatigued, and emotionally drained. This situation exemplifies how a lack of self-care can lead to burnout, a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that affects our ability to function effectively. Burnout doesn't just impact one's personal life. It can also spill over into professional settings. Imagine a dedicated employee who continuously takes on extra roles and responsibilities, believing they are helping their team by alleviating the workload. Initially, they may receive praise and recognition, but over time, the pressure begins to mount. As their own needs go unaddressed, their performance may begin to falter. They may struggle with creativity, productivity, and even motivation. In the end, the very selflessness they exhibited can ironically lead to diminished capacity to contribute. It's essential to recognize that putting yourself first is not a selfish act. Rather, it is a necessary component of healthy relationships and roles. By attending to your own needs, you create a foundation from which you can genuinely support others. Just as a garden requires tending to flourish, so too do our individual needs. Practicing self-care rejuvenates our physical health, nurtures our emotional stability, and sharpens our minds, enabling us to extend genuine care and support to those we love. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you took a moment for yourself? It might be as simple as enjoying a quiet cup of tea, going for a walk in nature, or reading a few pages of a book you love. These small acts of kindness toward oneself can yield significant positive effects. They can clear the mind, reduce stress, and enhance overall well-being. Establishing healthy boundaries is another critical aspect of balancing self-care with caring for others. Boundaries are like invisible lines that help us protect our time and energy. For example, saying no to an extra commitment does not mean you care less about those around you. In fact, it frees you up to offer higher quality support and attention when you do engage. Boundaries help prevent the feeling of being overwhelmed, which can arise when we overcommit ourselves to everyone else's needs at the expense of our own. Let's consider the analogy of a financial investment. When you invest in your own well-being, you're not just safeguarding your present, you're also ensuring a secure future. A well-balanced life fosters resilience, creativity, and a willingness to embrace challenges. In contrast, constant self-sacrifice leads to emotional and physical debt, which can become increasingly difficult to recover from over time. It is crucial to normalize self-care conversations in our circles, whether they are familial, friendships, or workplaces. Encourage others to understand that they too deserve moments of rest and rejuvenation. Share your own experiences and revelations regarding the importance of self-care. In doing so, you not only foster a supportive environment, but also help cultivate a culture where self-care is celebrated rather than stigmatized. In conclusion, the notion of putting others first should not come at the expense of our own well-being. Embracing the importance of self-care is about striking a balance that allows us to be our best selves for those we hold dear. Recognizing the fine line between selflessness and self-neglect empowers us to take charge of our own needs, ensuring that we can offer thoughtful support and compassion to others. So remember, prioritize yourself in a way that refuels your spirit and nurtures your body. This, in turn, allows you to put others first in a way that is sustainable and enriching for both you and them. Balance is key, and by applying this principle, you create a ripple effect that nurtures not only you, but also everyone around you. Life is often presented as a journey where the challenges we face are said to build our character and resilience. The phrase, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," suggests that adversity is a transformative force, shaping us into tougher, more capable individuals. However, while there is truth in the idea of growth through struggle, it's essential to recognize that this perspective is not universally applicable. Adversity can indeed lead to strength for some, but for others, it can result in profound harm and lasting difficulties. First, let's consider the psychological impact of adversity. When faced with significant challenges, be it the loss of a loved one, a traumatic event, or even chronic stress from everyday life. Individuals may experience an array of responses. Not everyone emerges from hardship with heightened resilience. For some, these experiences can lead to anxiety, depression, or post-traumatic stress disorder. The idea that all struggle inherently leads to strength ignores the complexity of human emotions and psychological responses. Take, for example, someone who experiences bullying during their formative years. This individual may develop a strong sense of empathy and resolve to combat injustice later in life. On the other hand, the same experience may lead another person to internalize feelings of worthlessness, influencing their future relationships and mental health. The outcomes of such adversity are not predetermined. They depend on various factors, including personality, social support, and past experiences. Moreover, the context in which adversity occurs plays a crucial role. A person facing challenges in a supportive environment may find pathways to learn and grow. Conversely, someone grappling with difficulties in isolation may struggle to cope effectively. The phrase oversimplifies a complex reality and can place undue pressure on individuals, suggesting that they must emerge from hardship stronger, regardless of their circumstances. Physical resilience is another area where this phrase falls short. An athlete may undergo rigorous training that pushes their body to its limits, leading to improved performance and physical strength. However, the same no pain, no gain mentality can lead to injury and long-term damage if taken too far. In this instance, perceived adversity is not necessarily a path to increased capability. Rather, it can create harmful physical consequences that require extended recovery periods. Taking a broader view, societal structures also play a role in how adversity affects individuals. In communities facing systemic struggles, for instance, poverty, discrimination, or a lack of access to health care, the cumulative effect of these adversities can be debilitating. The narrative that adversity breeds strength can undermine the realities of these social injustices and the profound toll they take on individuals. It suggests a personal failing when, in truth, external factors often limit opportunities for growth. Furthermore, some may experience a phenomenon known as toxic positivity, where the emphasis on resilience and strength dismisses grief or struggle. This mentality can create an environment where individuals feel pressured to perform emotional labor rather than process their experiences genuinely. It diminishes the validity of feelings like sadness or anger, suggesting that only a positive spin on adversity is acceptable. Such an attitude can lead to feelings of shame or inadequacy when one does not feel stronger after navigating a difficult situation. While some people indeed emerge from hardship with newfound strength, the road to that resilience is not universal. Life experiences are highly personal, and the interplay of individual circumstances, mental health, and external support significantly impact how one responds to adversity. Encouraging narratives around overcoming challenges should allow for vulnerability and the acknowledgement that sometimes merely surviving is an achievement. In relationships, the idea can lead to harmful dynamics. When someone repeatedly puts themselves in emotionally or physically harmful situations under the belief that it will strengthen them, they may instead be eroding their self-worth and personal boundaries. The notion of strength through adversity can perpetuate cycles of abuse, where individuals feel they must endure hardship to be worthy or valuable. Challenging this narrative is essential to foster healthier relationships and self-concepts. Finally, it is crucial to recognize the power of compassion and understanding. encouraging conversations around the realities of adverse experiences, that it is okay to struggle without the pressure to come out stronger on the other side, is vital. True resilience often emerges not only from overcoming challenges, but also from learning to seek support and openly express vulnerability. Adversity can be a teacher, but its lessons are complex and multifaceted. It can lead to growth for some while causing harm to others. To assume that every difficulty results in a stronger version of ourselves overlooks the nuances of human experience. Understanding this complexity allows us to foster a community where individuals can share their struggles without fear of judgment, and recognize that acknowledging adversity is just as important as celebrating resilience. It is this balance that enables true strength to emerge, grounded in compassion and understanding for ourselves and others. First impressions are a fascinating aspect of human interaction. They form the basis of how we perceive others and how others perceive us in return. The initial judgment we make about someone can be surprisingly swift, often occurring within seconds. Research shows that this quick evaluation is influenced by a variety of factors, such as appearance, body language, tone of voice, and even personal biases. Psychologists have extensively studied the phenomenon of first impressions, revealing that they can indeed have a long-lasting impact on social relationships. One of the most compelling findings is that once a first impression is made, people tend to stick with it, often filtering subsequent information through that initial lens. For example, if you meet someone who seems overly confident, your brain might label them as arrogant, making it difficult to see any additional qualities they may possess, even if they are kind or generous. However, the story does not end there. Research also suggests that first impressions can be revised over time, opening up the possibility for deeper understanding and connection. This revision process often occurs as we gather more context about a person's background, experiences, and values. Imagine meeting someone at a social event who initially comes across as standoffish. Your mind may quickly categorize them as unfriendly, but as the evening progresses, you learn that they are simply shy and reserved. This additional context can reshape your original perception, allowing you to appreciate their depth and complexity. A key component in the ability to revise first impressions is openness to new information. When we encounter people who challenge our initial evaluations by demonstrating different behaviors or sharing their stories, it provides an opportunity to reframe our understanding. For instance, consider a coworker who seems overly critical in meetings. At first, this may lead you to view them negatively. However, with time, you might discover that their critical nature stems from a deep commitment to excellence and a desire to see the team succeed. This realization can transform how you feel about them, replacing initial negativity with respect and appreciation. Social psychologist Nalini Ambady conducted studies showing how thin slices of behavior, very brief observations, can reveal a great deal about a person's character. While these impressions can be misleading, they often provide a starting point for further evaluation. When given time and opportunities to engage, our perceptions can change. In various experiments, participants showed that after multiple encounters, their perceptions of individuals often shifted, highlighting the malleability of our initial judgment. Moreover, first impressions are not just limited to individual interactions, but extend to groups and organizations. Consider how a brand or company might first be perceived based on an advertisement or a public appearance. A single campaign might create a strong impression that characterizes the entire brand. However, consumer experiences and feedback can alter this perception over time. As customers engage with the company, their satisfaction, or lack thereof, can shape how they and others view the brand, either reinforcing a positive sentiment or driving people away. It is also important to recognize that the revisability of first impressions can depend on various social and cultural factors. Different cultures have different norms regarding interaction, which can shape how first impressions are formed and revised. For instance, in some cultures, direct eye contact is a sign of confidence, while in others, it may be considered impolite or confrontational. Understanding these nuances can help us navigate social interactions more effectively and lead to deeper connections with others. In essence, while first impressions can be powerful and long-lasting, they are not set in stone. Our capacity to understand and relate to others is inherently flexible. Through awareness and willingness to look beyond initial impressions, we allow ourselves the chance to create more meaningful relationships. The next time you meet someone new, keep in mind that your first impressions may not tell the whole story. By remaining open and curious, you may uncover layers of personality that enrich your understanding and appreciation of them. Engaging with others in a way that promotes openness can lead to a more fulfilling social interaction. It invites the possibility for growth and transformation, not just in our relationships with others, but also within ourselves. As we reconsider our perceptions, we expand our capacity for empathy and connection, enriching our lives in a myriad of ways. Exploring the intricate dynamics of first impressions invites us to approach social situations with curiosity and understanding, paving the way for the kind of connections that endure far beyond that initial moment of judgment. In closing, first impressions hold significant weight in shaping our interactions, but they are just the beginning of a much broader human experience. Acknowledging our biases and making an effort to revise our perceptions can lead to a more compassionate and connected way of living. This journey of discovery transforms what could simply be surface-level interactions into meaningful connections, demonstrating the profound depth of human relationships. Happiness is often framed as a choice, something we can simply decide upon each day. This idea resonates with many, suggesting that with the right mindset, we can transform our experiences and find joy amidst challenges. While there's value in promoting a positive outlook, this notion can be overly simplistic and, in some cases, even damaging. To understand why, we must delve into the complex nature of mental health and the myriad factors that influence our emotional states. At first glance, the idea of choosing happiness can feel empowering. It places the responsibility on us to cultivate our joy, to engage in practices that uplift our spirits, and to create a life that resonates with our values and desires. This can manifest in various ways, such as surrounding ourselves with supportive people, practicing gratitude, or setting achievable goals that bring satisfaction. Engaging in hobbies we love or spending time in nature can certainly enhance our mood. Yet, the reality of mental health is far more intricate than just making a choice. For many individuals, factors such as genetics, brain chemistry, past experiences, and even societal influences play substantial roles in shaping our emotional well-being. For example, a person may face biological predispositions that make them more susceptible to anxiety or depression. It's essential to recognize that these conditions are not simply a result of poor choices or a lack of willpower. They often require professional intervention and are rooted in complex neurological pathways. Additionally, the impact of trauma cannot be overlooked. Individuals who have endured significant hardships may find it more challenging to embrace happiness, regardless of their desire to do so. Trauma can create deep-seated emotional patterns that are not easily altered by mere positive thinking. This explains why someone might feel stuck in a cycle of negativity, even when they consciously wish to change. For them, happiness may feel like an elusive target, leading to frustration and self-blame, which can exacerbate feelings of despair. Societal pressures can also contribute to the perception that happiness is a choice. We live in a world that often equates success and fulfillment with perpetual joy. This unrealistic standard can be overwhelming, leading individuals to believe that their struggles with mental health signify a personal failure. In turn, this creates a stigma around mental illness, making people reluctant to seek help or share their experiences out of fear of judgment. Moreover, social media can amplify this problem. Platforms often present curated glimpses into the lives of others, showcasing happiness, achievement, and perfection. When scrolling through these images, it's easy to feel inadequate, or as though everyone else is living a more fulfilled existence. This comparison can lead to a cycle of negative self-talk and a sense of isolation, as individuals may feel they are the only ones experiencing difficulties. In this context, urging someone to simply choose happiness may come off as dismissive or even harmful. It's also vital to recognize that emotions are not binary. Happiness exists within a spectrum of feelings, and it is possible to experience multiple emotions simultaneously. Acknowledging our sadness, anger, or frustration does not negate our capacity for happiness. In fact, embracing the full range of our emotional experiences can be liberating. Allowing space for sadness can complement our pursuit of joy, reminding us of our humanity and fostering resilience. It's essential to frame the conversation around happiness in a more nuanced way, one that recognizes both personal agency and the realities of mental health. Instead of portraying happiness as a simple choice, we could view it as a journey. This journey can involve discovering what truly brings us joy, understanding the barriers we face, and seeking support when needed. Engaging with mental health professionals, participating in therapy, or even discussing our feelings with trusted friends can pave the way to greater understanding and acceptance of our emotions. In addition, cultivating emotional intelligence can be a valuable tool. This involves recognizing our emotions, understanding what they signify, and responding to them in healthy ways. By developing this skill, we can become more adept at navigating our emotional landscapes, allowing us to construct a life that is fulfilling and meaningful, rather than one bound by societal expectations or simplistic notions of happiness. Ultimately, happiness can be a component of our lives, but it should be viewed as a complex interplay of various factors rather than a straightforward choice. By fostering empathy and understanding towards ourselves and others, we can create a more supportive environment that acknowledges individual experiences. In this space, we can explore what happiness means to us, encouraging authenticity and connection rather than pressure and judgment. As we navigate the complexities of our emotional lives, let us remember that it is okay not to feel happy all the time, and that seeking joy is just one aspect of our deeper human experience. Embracing this complexity can lead us to a more profound appreciation of life, fostering resilience and a sense of purpose, even in the face of adversity. Happiness is not merely a destination, but part of an intricate journey filled with learning, growth, and understanding. Being yourself might seem like a simple concept, but it is layered with complexities and risks that we often overlook. The idea of authenticity is celebrated in many cultures, yet the practical application of being true to oneself can be a challenging journey. especially in a world filled with social norms and expectations. To start with, let's explore what it means to be authentic. Being yourself involves being honest about your values, beliefs, and emotions. It means presenting your true self to the world, rather than a carefully crafted persona designed to fit into societal molds. However, most people find it difficult to present their authentic selves every day. This difficulty often stems from the fear of judgment or rejection. Imagine walking into a room full of strangers. Your gut instinct might be to blend in and adapt to the behavior of those around you, even if it feels alien to your true nature. In many social situations, we feel pressure to conform. This pressure can be subtle, like the unspoken rules of engagement at a party, or more overt, such as the need to dress or speak a certain way to gain acceptance. The complexities begin to emerge as we navigate these dynamics. We may feel conflicted between our desire to express ourselves and the innate human urge to connect and belong. Social media has added another layer to this conversation. It has created an environment where image often outweighs authenticity. People curate their lives to highlight only the best moments and the most desirable traits. This can lead to a disconnect between one's online persona and their real-life identity. When we see others showcasing their lives in flattering lights, it can make us question our own worth and authenticity. The risk of feeling inadequate can push individuals to present a version of themselves that aligns with these unrealistic portrayals, which can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and anxiety. What about professional settings? Many workplaces have cultures and expectations that shape how individuals behave. While some organizations encourage innovation and self-expression, others may prioritize conformity and adherence to hierarchy. If someone's personal values clash with their professional environment, they may face dilemmas about how to act. For instance, consider the scenario of an employee who is passionate about environmental sustainability. If their workplace does not recognize or support these values, they may feel compelled to suppress their passion to fit in. This can lead to internal conflict and a sense of unfulfillment. There are also risks involved when expressing one's authentic self in personal relationships. One might worry about how friends or family will react to their genuine thoughts and feelings. For instance, sharing a unique opinion or lifestyle choice may lead to conflict or estrangement. The fear of alienating loved ones can make individuals hesitant to open up. Yet, while the prospect of facing disapproval can be intimidating, embracing authenticity can also pave the way for deeper connections with those who appreciate you for who you are. Cultural factors can further complicate the journey of being oneself. In cultures that emphasize collectivism over individualism, there can be immense pressure to adhere to group norms. This emphasis on communal harmony can overshadow personal identity. Individuals from these backgrounds often navigate complex realities as they juggle their own aspirations against community expectation. Choices like career paths, relationships, and lifestyle decisions may carry not only personal implications, but also familial and cultural significance. However, it is essential to recognize the rewards that authenticity can bring. Living a life true to oneself can lead to greater self-acceptance and confidence. The effort to be genuine often enhances the quality of relationships, promotes mental health, and fosters personal growth. Finding communities or friend groups that celebrate uniqueness can transform how one perceives themselves. When individuals surround themselves with people who embrace diversity, it can serve as validation in their journey toward authenticity. Additionally, the act of being oneself can inspire others. When one person expresses their true self, it often encourages those around them to do the same. This domino effect can create spaces where authenticity flourishes, breaking down barriers and encouraging vulnerability. Consider how movements for social change often arise from individuals daring to share their truths, advocating for inclusivity and understanding. We must also recognize that being oneself may not mean revealing every aspect of one's identity to everyone. There is a delicate balance between authenticity and discretion. Knowing when to share your feelings and when to hold back can be an essential skill in adulthood. Sometimes, setting personal boundaries is necessary for emotional well-being. The key is to approach the world with authenticity while also respecting one's own limits and the context in which one operates. In conclusion, being yourself is a multifaceted journey that encompasses a range of experiences, from personal dilemmas to social challenges. Each person's path to authenticity is unique and shaped by various external and internal influences. Embracing this complexity can be empowering. While the risks involved in being true to oneself can be daunting, the potential for deeper connections, personal satisfaction, and inspiration for others makes the challenge worth taking on. By navigating these complexities with honesty and courage, we can contribute to a world where authenticity thrives and encourages a more genuine, understanding atmosphere for everyone. In the journey of life, we often find ourselves contemplating the notion of destiny. Are we merely puppets dancing to the strings of fate, or do we wield the power to forge our paths? This intriguing dichotomy between agency and determinism invites us to explore the depths of our existence and the choices that shape our reality. Determining the extent of our control begins with understanding agency. Agency refers to the capacity of individuals to act independently, make choices, and influence their circumstances. It encompasses our ability to decide how we respond to the challenges and opportunities that emerge throughout our lives. This concept is empowering. It suggests that we have the power to navigate our journeys intentionally. Consider a river flowing down a mountain. While the water will eventually find its way to the valley below, the choices made at the riverbank can alter its course. By recognizing our agency, we too can steer our lives in directions aligned with our values and aspirations. On the other hand, determinism presents an opposing viewpoint. This perspective argues that every event, including human actions, is determined by preceding events according to the laws of nature, society, or fate. This idea can feel overwhelming and restrictive, as it suggests that our decisions and experiences are preordained by a complex web of circumstances beyond our control. For instance, think about the influences of family, culture, and personal experiences that shape our beliefs and choices. They often create a framework within which we operate, making certain paths more likely than others. Though these ideas may seem at odds, they are often intertwined in the tapestry of life. Our environment influences the decisions we make, and while we may not control every external factor, we undoubtedly possess the ability to respond to them. Just like a chess player who must adapt to the moves of an opponent, we navigate our lives by responding to the conditions we encounter. Consider the realm of career choices. An individual may aspire to become an artist, but find themselves in a job that seemingly offers them no creative outlet. In this scenario, they have agency in determining how to approach their situation. They might choose to dedicate their evenings to art, seek out opportunities in their field, or even pursue a different path that aligns with their passion. While external factors may have influenced their initial career choices, their agency allows them to redefine their trajectory. The same principle applies to relationships. We might find ourselves surrounded by certain people due to circumstances such as geography or social circles. Yet, we have agency in how we engage with them, the boundaries we set, and the connections we nurture. Our choices help shape our relationships, leading us to deeper connections or to reevaluate those that do not serve our well-being. Recognizing the balance between agency and determinism invites us to embrace both personal responsibility and the realities of life. It is important to understand the factors influencing us, yet, simultaneously, it empowers us to assert our agency. Life may present us with circumstances we did not choose, but we hold the responsibility to determine how we respond to these circumstances. An inspiring illustration of this balance can be traced to historical figures who defied societal norms and expectations. Take Rosa Parks, whose refusal to give up her seat sparked a monumental movement. While she lived in a society laden with racial segregation and discrimination, she exercised her agency in a profound way, shifting the course of history. Her story exemplifies how individual choices can resonate far beyond personal experiences, challenging existing norms and paving the way for future generations. In some ways, contemplating our control over destiny can be likened to navigating through a vast forest. There are predetermined trails marked by familiar paths. However, the choice of which path to take belongs to us. Perhaps we can wander off the beaten path, exploring new landscapes filled with possibilities. Our ability to choose our direction amidst the multitude of options is a testament to our agency. Life is rarely a straightforward journey. It is filled with detours, unexpected twists, and turns. There are moments when we may feel lost or overwhelmed, but within those feelings lies the opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It is during these moments that our agency can shine the brightest, pushing us to reassess our values, passions, and aspirations. Instead of viewing the interplay of agency and determinism as opposing forces, one could think of them as partners in an intricate dance. While the rhythm may change, it is our movements that add color and form to each step we take. Embracing this partnership can free us from a deterministic mindset, allowing us to see life as a canvas where our agency colors the strokes that define our experiences. In conclusion, life is a delicate balance between the forces that shape us and the choices we make. By understanding the interplay between agency and determinism, we unearth the profound truth that while we may not control everything that happens to us, the essence of our journey lies within the choices we embrace. Recognizing our ability to forge our own destiny not only empowers us, but also invites us to consciously engage in the creation of a life that embodies our values, aspirations, and dreams. In doing so, we are reminded that the journey itself is a masterpiece in the making, defined by our choices and the narratives we craft along the way. Victim mentality is a term that has gained significant attention, especially in conversations about personal responsibility and resilience. This mindset can be deeply ingrained and often leads individuals to believe that they are perpetual victims of their circumstances. The core idea behind victim mentality is the belief that bad situations are always the individual's fault, often rejecting the complex interplay of external factors that contribute to life's challenges. Imagine a person who continually faces difficult situations at work. Instead of recognizing the influence of factors such as an unmanageable workload, ineffective management, or even economic downturns, this individual might focus solely on their perceived inadequacies. They think, if I had worked harder, I wouldn't be in this mess. This belief can spiral into a cycle of self-blame, where every setback is viewed as a reflection of personal failure, rather than a combination of numerous influences. One of the harmful aspects of victim mentality is that it strips individuals of their power. When people see themselves as victims of their circumstances, they often feel helpless, believing they have little or no control over what happens in their lives. This can lead to a sense of resignation, where they stop looking for solutions and instead wallow in self-pity. They may say things like, "There's nothing I can do about it," reinforcing their role as a victim rather than an active participant in their life story. Consider another example, where someone experiences a relationship breakdown. Rather than acknowledging the dynamics that contributed to the situation, such as poor communication or differing values, this individual may solely focus on their perceived flaws. They might think, "If only I was more attractive or funnier, I could have saved the relationship." This self-deprecating mindset not only perpetuates the sense of victimhood, but also prevents personal growth and learning from the experience. Moreover, the idea that we are solely to blame for our unfortunate circumstances can lead to an overwhelming burden of guilt and shame. This is especially true in cultures that place a high value on individualism and personal responsibility. People might feel pressure to always succeed, and when they do not, they internalize the failure as a personal defect. As a result, they might avoid taking risks or pursuing new opportunities, fearing the inevitable blame that accompanies potential failure. Social media can exacerbate this mentality, as individuals often compare their lives to the highlight reels of others. They may see peers who appear to be thriving and think that their own struggles are uniquely theirs, leading to increased feelings of inadequacy. This constant comparison creates an environment where self-blame becomes even more pronounced. "Why can't I be like them?" becomes a familiar refrain, echoing in the minds of those who feel trapped in a cycle of negativity. Another dimension of victim mentality is the tendency to externalize blame. While personal accountability is essential, constantly attributing personal failures to external factors can be equally damaging. When one believes that other people, circumstances, or even fate are solely responsible for their setbacks, they miss out on opportunities for growth. By failing to recognize their role in any given situation, individuals squander chances to learn and evolve. In contrast, adopting a perspective that embraces complexity can be empowering. Life is rarely black and white, and most situations result from a multitude of interacting factors. For instance, someone might lose their job due to economic conditions, but they can also reflect on their own role in the relationship with their employer. Perhaps their skills needed updating, or maybe they had become disengaged over time. Acknowledging these nuances allows for a healthier outlook, steering away from the victim mentality. To move beyond this way of thinking, individuals can consciously practice self-reflection and awareness. Journaling is an effective tool, as it provides a space to explore feelings and recognize patterns of self-blame. Writing down thoughts can illuminate instances where external factors played a significant role or highlight areas where personal growth is possible. Developing a support system can also facilitate this shift. Surrounding oneself with understanding and positive influences encourages a mindset that seeks solutions rather than dwelling in blame. Friends or mentors can help identify counterproductive thought patterns and offer constructive feedback, enabling individuals to gain new perspectives. Ultimately, the journey from victim mentality to one of empowerment involves cultivating a sense of agency and responsibility. By recognizing that while fault may exist, it is often not singularly ours, individuals can forge a healthier relationship with challenges. Emphasizing growth, learning, and resilience fosters a mindset that is not only more adaptable, but also more enriching. Engaging with life's complexities can instead be seen as an opportunity for growth. Acknowledging the interplay of personal actions and external circumstances paves the way for a more balanced perspective. Remember that embracing responsibility means understanding your actions within the broader context of your life. Seeking to learn from every experience, rather than assigning blame, is a powerful step toward a more fulfilling existence. By shifting focus from fault to understanding, individuals can reclaim their narrative and transform their experiences into avenues for growth and enrichment. Talent is often hailed as the magical ingredient that leads to success. From childhood, we hear stories about prodigies and exceptional individuals who seem to possess innate gifts that propel them to the top of their fields. While talent can certainly play a role in one's achievements, it's crucial to explore the factors that contribute to success beyond mere ability. This narrative challenges the traditional notion that talent is everything and introduces the powerful influence of environment and support. Imagine a young musician. Perhaps they are gifted with perfect pitch and innate understanding of rhythm. However, if this musician grows up in an environment devoid of musical influences, with limited access to instruments or mentorship, their chances of flourishing in this art form drastically diminish. On the flip side, consider a child who shows no extraordinary musical skills at first. If nurtured in a household where music is celebrated and support is readily available, like encouragement from family members or access to quality education, they might develop into an accomplished musician over time. This scenario illustrates how the environment can significantly impact an individual's development, often outweighing raw talent itself. In academia, we find similar parallels. A brilliant student may struggle in a poorly resourced school or a challenging home situation, where creativity and curiosity are stifled. In contrast, another student with average abilities may thrive in an enriching environment with dedicated teachers and robust support systems. The emotional and psychological climate of their surroundings can shape their educational journey, pushing them to reach heights they may never have thought possible. Support systems play an equally vital role in unlocking potential. Consider athletes, for example. A young person with athletic talent may go unnoticed without a coach or community that recognizes and nurtures their abilities. In contrast, an athlete with less innate talent but a strong support network, including coaches, teammates, and family encouragement, might find a way to compete at a high level through hard work and determination. The combined effects of motivation and guidance can lead one to excel in ways that might seem reserved for the exceptionally gifted. One could look at the famous story of Thomas Edison. Known today as an extraordinary inventor, Edison faced significant challenges, including his hearing impairment. Yet, what often goes unnoticed is the environment in which he thrived. He had a supportive mother who encouraged his curiosity and creativity. His relentless work ethic, coupled with the support from mentors and colleagues, enabled him to push the boundaries of what was possible. This example shows that extraordinary achievements often grow from a foundation built on support and encouragement rather than purely on talent. Moreover, let's consider the impact of community. Individuals thriving in collaborative environments where ideas are shared and innovation is encouraged often achieve remarkable results. The famous tech giants of Silicon Valley, for instance, are not just populated with talented individuals. They exist within ecosystems that foster cooperation, creativity, and continuous learning. Networking among peers and mentors can cultivate an atmosphere that nurtures potential and leads to unprecedented successes. It's equally essential to recognize the role of failure in this discussion. Failure can provide the richest learning experiences, but without a supportive environment, the fear of failure might prevent individuals from taking risks. When people are in an encouraging setting, they can embrace failures as steps toward growth. Celebrating imperfections and learning from mistakes helps individuals develop resilience and a growth mindset, which can be more valuable than any natural talent alone. Such differences in experiences highlight how crucial it is to cultivate environments that encourage people to explore their passions without the fear of judgment. When young learners are nurtured in spaces that promote inquiry, creativity, and experimentation, they often discover their strengths and interests, developing skills that may even surpass perceived talent. In conclusion, while talent can serve as a foundation, it is the blend of environment and support that truly builds success. The stories of countless individuals across various fields remind us that success is rarely achieved in isolation. It grows from relationships, experiences, and the determination to nurture oneself and others. By appreciating the complex interplay between talent, support, and environment, we can foster a culture that celebrates growth over innate ability, empowering everyone to pursue their aspirations with confidence. With the right foundation and encouragement, remarkable achievements become not just possible, but inevitable. In recent years, a phenomenon known as grind culture has emerged, permeating every corner of our lives. This culture glorifies the hustle, promoting the idea that constant work, long hours, and relentless ambition equate to success. While hard work is often essential for achieving goals, the way grind culture celebrates overwork has profound implications for our health and happiness. Grind culture suggests that if you are not working harder, you aren't contributing enough. It elevates busyness to a status symbol, and many wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. Social media platforms amplify this mindset, showcasing images of individuals burning the midnight oil, responding to emails at all hours, and boasting about their endless to-do lists. This pervasive narrative convinces many that the only path to success is paved with sleepless nights. Yet, the reality is far more complex. One might say that this constant hustle can take a toll on physical health. Increased stress levels, lack of sleep, and unhealthy eating habits frequently accompany a grind-centric lifestyle. Studies have shown that chronic stress can lead to a myriad of health issues, including heart disease and weakened immune function. Instead of thriving, individuals caught in this cycle may find themselves less productive and more prone to burnout. It's important to recognize that our bodies and minds require time to recharge and heal. Moreover, the glorification of overwork can have detrimental effects on mental well-being. People entrenched in grind culture often experience feelings of anxiety and depression. The pressure to constantly perform, to always be available, and to never take a break can lead to feelings of inadequacy. No matter how hard they work, the bar is always raised higher, leaving them in a relentless chase that seldom leads to satisfaction. This hamster wheel of endless striving can create a disconnect from the joy that comes from meaningful experiences and relationships. Consider the impact grind culture has on personal relationships. When individuals prioritize work above all else, they risk neglecting connections with family and friends. Time spent with loved ones is often sacrificed to tackle the next project or meet an impending deadline. This, in itself, is a recipe for unhappiness, as meaningful relationships are foundational to a fulfilling life. Quality time with others brings joy, laughter, and support, all of which are essential for a balanced lifestyle. So what can be done to counteract the pressures of grind culture? It starts with adopting a more mindful approach to work and life. Setting boundaries can be an effective way to reclaim time. Designating specific hours for work and personal activities helps create a clear separation that allows for relaxation and rejuvenation. Learning to say no to extra commitments that do not align with personal goals can also contribute to a healthier work-life balance. Working smarter rather than harder is another essential element. This can involve prioritizing tasks, delegating responsibilities, and utilizing technology to streamline work processes. By focusing on efficiency, individuals can accomplish more within a shorter time frame, allowing them more time to engage in hobbies, explore personal interests, or simply rest. In addition, cultivating a mindset that values self-care can significantly counter the effects of grind culture. Taking breaks throughout the workday, engaging in physical activity, and finding time for relaxation can replenish mental and physical energy. Practices such as journaling or spending time outdoors can also foster reflection and mindfulness, enhancing overall well-being. As society progresses, the dialogue around work and its importance is evolving. More voices are advocating for a balanced approach, emphasizing that rest and downtime are not signs of weakness, but integral components of a successful and fulfilling life. Many companies are beginning to embrace this shift, providing flexible work arrangements, encouraging time off, and promoting employee wellness programs. These changes signal a growing recognition that true achievement encompasses health and happiness, not just productivity. In conclusion, while hard work is undoubtedly a component of success, the glorification of overwork inherent in grind culture can have dire consequences for health and happiness. It is crucial to navigate the fine line between striving for personal and professional goals and recognizing the value of rest and connection. Embracing a holistic approach to life, one that prioritizes well-being alongside ambition, can create a more sustainable and fulfilling experience. By reshaping our understanding of success to include balance and self-care, we can foster a culture that uplifts and nourishes individuals, ultimately enriching both personal and collective happiness. Closure is a concept that has been ingrained in our collective understanding of loss and grief. We often hear that to heal, one must find closure, as if it is an endpoint or a neat resolution to our emotional struggle. However, this perspective deserves a thoughtful examination. What does closure really mean, and is it indeed necessary or even possible for everyone after a loss? To begin with, let's consider what we typically think of as closure. The conventional idea often involves reaching a moment of peace, a finality that allows us to move on from our grief. This could look like an emotional event, such as a memorial service, where we say our goodbyes, or perhaps it is a silent agreement within ourselves that it is time to let go. But the reality of human emotion is far more complex and nuanced. Imagine losing a loved one. The aftermath is not simply marked by stages that, once traversed, lead to closure. Grief is a process that can ebb and flow, often resurfacing unexpectedly. It can be triggered by a memory, a place, or even a scent that reminds us of that person. These moments do not occur at prescribed times, nor do they adhere to a linear timeline. What we recognize is that grief is ongoing. It can coexist with joy, comfort, and life's daily experiences. This brings us to an essential point. The idea that one must seek closure can sometimes impose undue pressure. It suggests that there's a right way to grieve and a final destination we must reach. By focusing on closure as the goal, we might neglect the important work of integrating our loss into our lives. Instead of seeing an end, it can be more liberating to view grief as a process of growth, adaptation, and understanding. Further, let's reflect on the nature of relationships. When we lose someone we love, we don't just lose their physical presence. We lose the shared experiences, the conversations, and the future moments we dreamed of having together. It can be incredibly challenging to sever those connections, even in death. Thus, for many, closure can feel not only unattainable, but also inappropriate. The bond with that person continues, albeit in a different form. Consider how we celebrate special days that remind us of our loved ones. Birthdays, anniversaries, or holidays can evoke a wave of emotions. Instead of finding closure on these occasions, many choose to honor their memory, allowing the love they shared to reside within those celebrations. This creates a space where emotions are welcomed rather than avoided, highlighting that grief does not have to mean letting go of love. We also need to recognize that closure means different things to different people. For some, it may be about forgiving not just the person lost, but also themselves. And that journey can take time. Others may find it in accepting that loss is part of life, and that memories, both joyful and painful, will always be a part of their story. The cultural context surrounding loss plays a significant role too. In some cultures, grief is viewed as a communal experience, something that is shared, and in others, it may be more private. What remains consistent, though, is that the diversity of individual experiences highlights that closure cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach. Challenging the necessity of closure also opens the door to acknowledging our ongoing relationship with grief. Many find that certain practices, such as journaling, creating art, or speaking to friends and family, provide a space to explore their feelings without the added pressure of seeking closure. These activities honor the complexity of grief and foster resilience in the face of it. Moreover, embracing the idea that closure is not necessary can lead us to accepting the myriad of emotions that arise during this time. It is perfectly normal to feel anger, confusion, or even guilt alongside sadness. For many, grappling with these feelings can be a vital part of the journey, allowing space for healing while acknowledging ongoing connections to those we miss. Additionally, think about how life evolves after loss. Experiences and relationships grow and change, and with that evolution, we may find new meanings and ways to carry our memories. The grief may shift, but that does not equate to closure. Life continues to teach and surprise us, even in moments of loss. In summation, closure can often feel like an obligation we place upon ourselves after experiencing grief. However, by challenging this belief, we free ourselves to explore a more authentic, enduring relationship with our feelings. It becomes less about reaching an endpoint and more about finding ways to carry our loved ones with us as we navigate through life, embracing both the joys and the sorrows. Grief does not have to be the opposite of love. In many ways, they exist together as part of the same continuum. Rather than seeking closure, we may find peace in honoring the complexity of our experiences, learning to coexist with our feelings, and acknowledging that love does not fade away, even with loss. Life is a complex tapestry woven from thousands of experiences, emotions, and interaction. It often feels as though some people are bestowed with fortune, while others are left grappling with hardship. This observed unfairness can create deep feelings of frustration and injustice. It is important to acknowledge that life, in its essence, doesn't inherently adhere to a sense of fairness or equality. Everyone encounters struggles and triumphs, yet they manifest differently across individual lives. Consider the story of two friends who grow up in neighboring houses. One comes from a well-off family with all the resources needed to thrive in academics and sports, enjoying opportunities in fine schooling and extracurricular activities. The other friend, while equally talented and hardworking, faces financial barriers and limited access to resources, causing them to struggle despite their potential. From a surface viewpoint, this can appear starkly unfair. The reality is that these two friends will navigate their paths differently, each facing unique challenges rooted in external circumstances. Understanding life's inherent unfairness leads us to an essential realization. How we respond to it makes all the difference. For example, instead of feeling defeated by circumstances beyond our control, we can adapt and find strength within ourselves. When adversity strikes, resilience becomes a powerful ally. Resilience is the capability to bounce back from difficulties. It is like a rubber band that stretches but never breaks under pressure. In this way, individuals can cultivate their resilience by embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. One effective strategy in dealing with the unpredictability of life is shifting our perspective. This can mean reframing a situation to focus on what we can learn rather than what we have lost. For instance, if an individual experiences a setback at work, such as being passed over for a promotion, they might take a moment to reflect on the skills they can develop to enhance their prospects in the future. This proactive mindset can empower them to pursue new training or networking opportunities, ultimately turning a disappointing moment into a stepping stone for advancement. Another coping mechanism is building a strong support network. Friends, family, and mentors provide a cushion during challenging times. When navigating through life's highs and lows, sharing experiences with empathetic listeners can create a sense of validation. Imagine sitting around a table with friends, sharing various life events. The collective wisdom and encouragement can transform feelings of isolation into a shared understanding of this chaotic journey we call life. By fostering relationships, we can combat the isolating feelings that arise from experiencing unfairness. Mindfulness practices also play a significant role in coping with life's uncertainties. Engaging in mindful activities encourages a deeper connection with the present moment. For example, while going for a walk in nature, one can observe the colors of the leaves, the sound of the wind, and the warmth of the sun. This grounding experience ensures that feelings of discontent do not overshadow the beauty surrounding us. By cultivating mindfulness, we learn to accept life as it unfolds, appreciating the present without burdening ourselves with unforeseen future worries. Additionally, embracing gratitude can profoundly shift our emotional landscape. Rather than fixating on what seems unfair, we can consciously acknowledge the good in our lives, big or small. Consider waking up in the morning and reflecting on simple pleasures like a warm cup of coffee or the laughter of a loved one. This practice of recognizing positive aspects amid life's chaos encourages a mindset rooted in appreciation, ultimately fostering contentment. Challenging the notion that life should be fair can lead to a more nuanced understanding of existence. It's crucial to recognize that everyone has a unique journey marked by distinct experiences. Context plays a pivotal role. What may appear to be unfair to one can be a catalyst for learning and growth for another. Such perspectives allow for empathy, understanding, and compassion toward ourselves and others, encouraging us to broaden our view on what constitutes a fair existence. The way we interpret life's unpredictable nature influences our personal narratives. Instead of adopting a victim mentality, individuals can become the protagonists of their own stories. This transformative shift in mindset empowers us to advocate for our paths, seek solutions, and elicit positive change. While we cannot directly control how life unfolds, we have the power to influence our reactions, choices, and ultimately, our outcome. Life may not adhere to a strict policy of fairness, but how we choose to respond creates a profound impact. By remaining resilient, fostering a support system, practicing mindfulness, and cultivating gratitude, we can navigate the inevitable ups and downs that life presents. These strategies equip us to face challenges head-on, emerging not only unscathed, but wiser and more robust for the journey ahead. Embracing life with all its unpredictability and unfairness can lead us to discover strength, resilience, and ultimately, a life filled with meaning and joy. Staying positive is often seen as an essential quality in navigating through life. However, it is vital to explore the concept of toxic positivity, which can undermine our emotional well-being and invalidate our true feelings. Understanding the balance between maintaining a positive outlook and acknowledging the full spectrum of emotions is key to living an authentic and fulfilling life. Toxic positivity occurs when an individual dismisses negative feelings or experiences and insists on maintaining an unfaltering positive attitude. For example, someone might say, "Just think happy thoughts," or focus on the bright side, in response to a friend struggling with loss or disappointment. While the intent is usually well-meaning, such comments can minimize the authenticity of another's emotional state. This dismissiveness can create an environment where individuals feel pressured to conceal their negative emotions, leading to feelings of shame or guilt for experiencing them. Consider the natural cycle of emotions. Just like the weather, our feelings can shift from sunshine to storm clouds. Emotional experiences are integral to our human existence. They help us understand our needs, desires, and boundaries. By only focusing on the positive, we risk suppressing emotions like sadness, anger, or frustration. This suppression can lead to a buildup of unresolved feelings, which may emerge later in unhealthy ways. It is through acknowledging and processing all emotions that we can experience healing and growth. Furthermore, embracing a full range of emotions fosters deeper connections with others. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite others to do the same. Sharing our struggles and challenges builds empathy and understanding within relationships. For instance, when a friend confides their fears or anxieties, instead of rushing to reassure them with platitudes, we can listen and validate their feelings. Acknowledging their difficulty creates a bond of trust and support, offering a safe space for open dialogue and deeper connections. It is also crucial to understand that emotions serve a purpose. For example, fear can be a protective mechanism, cautioning us against potential danger while motivating us to prepare and strategize. Anger can signal that something is misaligned with our values or needs. Instead of rejecting these feelings, embracing them allows us to take constructive action, whether it be advocating for ourselves or making necessary changes in our lives. So how do we navigate through this landscape of emotions in a healthy way? First, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that it is entirely normal to experience a range of feelings. Instead of criticizing yourself for moments of sadness or frustration, allow yourself to feel without judgment. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would extend to a friend. This shift in perspective can cultivate a healthy relationship with your emotions. Next, encourage open dialogue about emotions within your relationships. Share your own experiences and invite others to express theirs. This environment of emotional honesty fosters authenticity and strengthens bonds. Remember that it is perfectly acceptable to seek help when needed. Whether through friends, family, or professional guidance, support is available to navigate through the complexities of emotion. Another way to find balance is through mindfulness practices. Engaging in activities such as journaling, meditation, or even spending time in nature can create opportunities for reflection. These practices can help us process our emotions, let go of negativity, and cultivate gratitude without denying the full experience of our feelings. In summary, while staying positive is valuable, it is equally important to embrace the entirety of our emotional landscape. Toxic positivity can serve to diminish the significance of our feelings, whereas acknowledging our emotions allows for growth, understanding, and connection. Remember that it is not only okay to feel a wide range of emotions, but it is essential for living a rich and authentic life. Let's encourage ourselves and those around us to experience all of life's colors and to hold space for both joy and sorrow in our journey together. This balance is one of the most profound gifts we can give ourselves and each other. Wisdom is often described as a treasure gained from a lifetime of experiences, but the relationship between age and wisdom is more complex than it may seem at first glance. One might assume that simply living through the years would naturally lead to greater understanding and insight. However, wisdom is not an automatic byproduct of aging. Instead, it is shaped by the lessons we learn, the challenges we face, and how we choose to interpret these experiences. Consider this: a person may live for many years, but only repeat the same mistakes without taking the time to reflect on their choices. In this case, the passing of time does not equate to the accumulation of wisdom. On the other hand, someone much younger, perhaps facing challenges that feel insurmountable, may emerge with profound insights and a deeper understanding of life's intricacies. This highlights that wisdom is not merely a function of time, but also of personal growth and reflection. It's important to recognize that wisdom involves a nuanced understanding of life, a blending of knowledge, experience, and intuition. It's about knowing when to act and when to pause, understanding the gray areas rather than clinging strictly to right and wrong. For instance, someone could learn facts about friendship and loyalty, but may only grasp the essence of these concepts after experiencing betrayal or deep connections. Moreover, emotional intelligence plays a significant role in the development of wisdom. The capacity to empathize with others, to appreciate differing perspectives, and to engage in constructive dialogue often fosters wisdom. A wise individual tends to be one who understands not only their own feelings, but also the emotions of those around them, which helps them navigate complex social landscapes. Let's take the example of two people facing the same situation. One person, having lived for decades, reacts based on rigid habits and preconceived notions. The other, younger individual, perhaps with less life experience, approaches the same situation with openness and a willingness to learn. This younger person may forge a path to understanding that is rich with insight, demonstrating that wisdom can flourish irrespective of age. In many cultures, stories and parables are used to convey wisdom across generations. These narratives illustrate how individuals learn from life's lessons, showcasing that wisdom often comes through failure and resilience. Consider a story about a farmer who faces several drought years. In his struggle, he learns new farming techniques and discovers the importance of conservation. As he grows older, he shares these insights with his community, demonstrating that it is through experience and the sharing of knowledge that wisdom is cultivated. Additionally, engagement with a diverse range of ideas and experiences can significantly enhance one's capacity for wisdom. Traveling to new places, meeting people from different backgrounds, and exposing oneself to various cultures all contribute to a broader understanding of the human experience. This, in turn, enriches one's perspective, allowing individuals to draw upon a wider array of experiences when making decisions or advising others. Equally important is the willingness to unlearn and adapt. The world is ever-changing, and clinging to outdated beliefs can hinder the growth of wisdom. It requires humility to recognize that our understanding is not absolute, and that every experience presents an opportunity to learn. An older individual who remains curious and open-minded may accrue greater wisdom than those who resist change out of fear or stubbornness. Mentorship is another vital aspect of this journey toward wisdom. Those who have been fortunate enough to learn from mentors often find themselves better prepared to navigate life's complexities. Mentors provide guidance based on their own experiences, helping to shape a younger person's understanding of the world. Conversely, when older mentors are receptive to the ideas of their mentees, this two-way exchange enriches both parties and fosters wisdom through shared experiences. Ultimately, wisdom is about how we process and apply our experiences. It involves reflection, a sense of curiosity, and the ability to learn from both triumphs and failures. It is the quiet voice that reminds us to strive for understanding rather than certainty, to seek connection instead of division. As we traverse through life, it is this wisdom that allows us to foster deeper relationships, make compassionate choices, and navigate the complexities of our existence. Thus, while age can provide the backdrop for wisdom to flourish, it is the active pursuit of knowledge, reflection on experiences, and an openness to change that truly shapes wise individuals. Embrace each moment as a lesson, and with each experience, you have a potential avenue to cultivate a deeper understanding of life's beautiful complexity. Wisdom does not reside in the length of our years, but in the depth of our learning, the breadth of our experiences, and the humility of our hearts. The concept of opposites attracting is often depicted in movies, books, and conversations. It creates an alluring picture of two entirely different personalities coming together in a harmonious relationship. However, when we dive deeper into the studies and research surrounding relationships, a different truth begins to emerge. While it can be enjoyable to mix it up with diverse perspectives, studies suggest that having similar values might be more significant for a lasting connection than the differences that initially catch our interest. Take, for example, the findings from various psychological studies on romantic compatibility. Researchers have explored what keeps relationships thriving over time. It turns out that shared values, whether they pertain to family, career aspirations, or personal beliefs, play a crucial role in creating a strong bond. Imagine a couple who both prioritize family time and place importance on nurturing their relationships with loved ones. Even if they have different hobbies or tastes in music, these shared values can create a solid foundation for their relationship. They are more likely to work together through challenges because they understand what matters most to each other. One significant study conducted at the University of Michigan gathered insights from over 200 couples and analyzed their compatibility by looking at their shared values rather than their differences. The results were compelling. Couples who identified similar values not only reported higher levels of satisfaction, but also demonstrated greater resilience in facing life's challenges. They showed a willingness to work through conflicts because their foundational beliefs aligned. Imagine a couple where one partner enjoys hiking and the other prefers staying at home. Though on the surface, it might seem they have little in common. If both individuals value adventure and exploration, they can find ways to compromise that honor their core values while still enjoying their differences. Moreover, research in social psychology also emphasizes the importance of similarity in values. Studies have revealed that people tend to be attracted to those who share similar attitudes, interests, and opinions. Whether discussing political ideologies, lifestyle choices, or future goals, alignment in these areas fosters a sense of understanding and connection. For instance, consider friends who share a passion for environmental sustainability. Their discussions around eco-friendly practices create camaraderie, reinforcing their bond over time. When values align, conversations flow effortlessly, resulting in stronger emotional ties. Another intriguing aspect of this discussion is the way personal development impacts relationships. As individuals, we are constantly evolving and reassessing our beliefs and values. When partners are on a similar growth trajectory, they support each other's journeys, leading to deeper intimacy. Think of a couple embarking on a fitness journey together. They can explore new workout routines and healthy diets, boosting each other's motivation along the way. Their shared commitment to health not only strengthens their relationship, but also contributes positively to each person's individual growth. Of course, it's natural for differences to exist in any relationship. Disagreements are a part of the human experience. However, individuals approach these moments of disagreement differently when their core values align. Instead of disputing each other's opinions, partners who share values can approach conflicts with curiosity and a desire to understand, rather than a need to be right. For instance, if one person prefers a bustling social life and the other enjoys quiet evenings, rather than seeing these preferences as oppositions, they can learn to navigate their preferences by finding common ground, such as designating certain nights for social outings, while keeping others for peaceful evenings at home. As we consider the breadth of relationships, it's essential to remember that the similarities in values can extend beyond romantic bonds. Friendships and familial relationships also thrive on shared beliefs and principles. Cultivating friendships with those who share a love for creativity or a dedication to learning often leads to enriched experiences. These connections tend to create environments where individuals feel validated and understood, promoting deeper lifelong relationships. In summary, while the idea that opposites attract can provide excitement and intrigue, the research increasingly points toward the significance of shared values in nurturing lasting relationships. These similarities act as a foundation that supports growth, understanding, and connection. As relationships evolve, the alignment in core beliefs, goals, and aspirations creates authentic bonding experiences that can withstand the test of time. So, the next time you find yourself drawn to someone who seems completely different, remember the power of shared values. It may be the key to ultimately nurturing that connection. In a world that thrives on immediate gratification, the saying, "Good things come to those who wait," is often repeated. While there is a truth to the notion of patience and the virtue it embodies, it is essential to question the passivity that this phrase implies. Patience is undoubtedly valuable, but it is crucial to pair it with proactive efforts that drive our aspirations forward. Consider the moment when a seed is planted in fertile soil. It requires nurturing, sunlight, and water to grow into a flourishing plant. Simply waiting for the seed to sprout without tending to it would yield little result. Similarly, in our lives, waiting should not be a passive endeavor, but rather a phase that is complemented by determination and action. Let's explore the concept further by reflecting on goals and dreams. Imagine a person who aspires to write a novel. If they sit idly and wait for inspiration to strike, months and even years might pass without a single word written. However, if that individual commits to writing regularly, setting aside time each day to develop ideas, create characters, and construct an engaging plot, they move closer to realizing their dream. The journey to becoming a published author includes both patience and diligent effort. Now, let's think about careers. Many people believe that a rewarding job will eventually come their way if they simply hold on. This belief can lead to stagnation. Instead, being proactive is key. Taking the initiative to network, acquire new skills, and seek opportunities can open doors that remained closed while waiting. Job seekers who actively refine their resumes or engage in professional development are more likely to secure fulfilling positions than those who solely rely on chance. Relationships, too, highlight the importance of action. Consistent communication, quality time, and genuine effort are necessary ingredients to cultivate meaningful connections. Waiting for a bond to deepen on its own, without investing time and energy, often leads to disappointment. Building a strong relationship requires vulnerability, sharing experiences, and maintaining a mutual commitment, ensuring both parties feel valued and understood. Moreover, consider the pursuit of personal growth. People often aspire to achieve better health or develop new skills. Waiting for motivation to appear is a common experience. Yet, those who establish small, manageable goals and take concrete steps, such as incorporating a regular exercise routine or dedicating time each week to learn a new hobby, find that progress is within reach. It is the proactive approach that creates momentum and inspires confidence in one's abilities. Furthermore, envision the broader social context. Movements for change often begin with individuals who refuse to wait for someone else to take action. They understand that, rather than relying on hope or time, it is through advocacy, organizing, and collaboration that real transformation occurs. Each small effort compounds to create significant shifts, proving that the journey toward progress is built on proactive steps rather than passive waiting. Taking action, even in small ways, not only influences personal outcomes, but can significantly contribute to collective efforts. Consider community service initiatives, where a handful of dedicated volunteers can make a difference. While waiting for others to join in may lead to a sluggish pace, stepping forward to encourage others can spark a movement that brings forth positive change. So how can one strike a balance between patience and action? Reflect on your aspirations and pinpoint the areas where taking initiative could lead to substantial growth. Break down larger goals into smaller, actionable steps that you can take today. Ask yourself what you can do right now that moves you closer to where you want to be. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether that be friends, mentors, or inspirational content that motivates you to act. This environment can encourage proactive thinking and help you maintain focus. Regularly assess your progress and remain nimble. If something isn't working, adapt and try new strategies. Engage in cultivating a mindset that recognizes waiting as a natural part of the process, but equally values proactive steps toward achieving your visions. Explore the outdoors to find inspiration in nature. read enlightening books, or listen to uplifting talks that spark creativity and spur you to act. The time spent in wait is not wasted. It can be filled with growth as you adapt, learn, and prepare for the opportunities ahead. Ultimately, remember that waiting can serve a purpose, but allowing it to dominate your journey can lead to missed opportunities. Proactivity combined with the willingness to be patient creates a healthy balance, ensuring you are moving forward while honoring the natural rhythms of life. Each step forward is a testament to your resilience and determination, proving that while good things may come to those who wait, they often arrive sooner to those who take action. The saying, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks," has long been used to imply that older individuals are resistant to change or learning new skill. However, this adage is increasingly challenged by scientific research that sheds light on the fascinating concept of adult neuroplasticity. This refers to the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. While many may believe that such adaptability primarily occurs during childhood, a growing body of evidence demonstrates that adults can continue to learn and evolve well into their later years. Neuroplasticity allows the brain to adjust and adapt in response to new experiences, learning, and even recovery from injuries. Researchers have identified various types of neuroplasticity, including functional plasticity, which helps the brain compensate for damaged areas, and structural plasticity, which involves changes in the brain's structure as a result of learning and experience. For instance, when you pick up a new skill, like playing a musical instrument or learning a new language, your brain undergoes significant changes. New pathways and networks are formed, allowing for improved processing and understanding of that skill. One remarkable study conducted at the University of California, Los Angeles, explored the effects of learning on adult brains. Participants, age 65 and older, were given the opportunity to learn digital photography, a completely new and unfamiliar skill for many. Researchers found that even in this older age group, the participants exhibited measurable changes in their brain structure. Specifically, the areas of the brain responsible for visual processing and memory showed increases in gray matter density. This indicates that the act of learning had a tangible impact on their neural architecture, highlighting that engaging in new activities can foster growth and adaptability, regardless of age. Moreover, the principle of lifelong learning is further supported by studies on cognitive engagement. Researchers have found that maintaining an active brain can significantly contribute to cognitive health. Engaging in mentally stimulating activities, such as reading, puzzles, or playing strategy games, can help preserve and enhance cognitive function. For example, a study published in the journal Neurology discovered that individuals who participated in regular cognitive stimulation had a slower rate of cognitive decline compared to those who didn't engage in such activities. Another exciting aspect of neuroplasticity is the role of physical exercise. Emerging research suggests that physical activity can encourage neuroplasticity, offering benefits not only for physical fitness, but also for cognitive health. Regular aerobic exercise has been shown to increase the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that supports the survival of existing neurons and fosters the growth of new ones. In simple terms, staying active doesn't just improve your muscles, it enhances your brain health as well. Additionally, social interactions play a crucial role in mental agility and growth. Engaging in conversations, forming relationships, and participating in group activities are all proven to help stimulate mind activity. A study from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that adults who maintained strong social connections had a lower risk of cognitive decline compared to those who were isolated. This showcases the importance of both mental and social engagement in keeping the brain functioning optimally. The advent of technology has further opened up resources for learning. Online courses, apps for language learning, and platforms that enable skill development have made it easier than ever for individuals of all ages to explore new interests and knowledge areas. Whether someone wishes to dive into the world of photography, learn about astronomy, or master a programming language, the opportunities are abundant. This accessibility emphasizes that the pursuit of knowledge isn't confined to a specific age group. Rather, it is a lifelong endeavor. To illustrate further, consider the example of individuals pursuing higher education later in life. Many universities are welcoming older students who choose to return to academia. Research shows that these students not only succeed, but often outperform their younger counterparts in various subjects. Their life experiences provide a unique perspective that enriches class discussions, propelling a deeper understanding of the material covered. Some may wonder about the optimal ways to promote neuroplasticity in daily life. Simple practices such as practicing mindfulness, learning a new instrument, or exploring new hobbies can stimulate the brain. Traveling to new places, trying different cuisines, or volunteering for community service are all excellent ways to step outside of one's comfort zone, exposing the brain to novel experiences. While the saying about old dogs may suggest a fixed mindset towards learning at an older age, current research paints a far more hopeful picture. Adult neuroplasticity reveals that growth and change do not have to stop. Instead, they can continue as long as there is curiosity, willingness to adapt, and an openness to new experiences. So, embrace the journey of lifelong learning and remember that no one is ever too old to acquire new skills or uncover new passions. The brain remains a dynamic organ throughout life, capable of amazing transformations and adaptations, proving that every day presents an opportunity to learn and grow. In the path of life, we often encounter various forms of emotional distress, whether from relationships, loss, or disappointments. The concept of closure frequently emerges during discussions of these experiences. Many people believe that acquiring closure will mark the end of pain, a sort of emotional reset button that restores peace. However, the reality is much more nuanced, revealing that closure does not always equate to an end to emotional suffering. First, let's consider what closure actually entails. It often involves a resolution of feelings or an understanding that provides a sense of completion. It can be the final conversation that clears the air, the last goodbye that brings peace, or even the moment when one can look back on past experiences without the weight of unresolved feelings. Yet, this simplified concept of closure can lead us to unrealistic expectations. Achieving closure may not instantly erase the scars of past experiences or banish feelings such as sadness, anger, or confusion. For instance, imagine someone who has lost a loved one. While a funeral service may provide a space for gathering support, expressing grief, and honoring the deceased, it does not necessarily bring closure. Instead, it marks the beginning of a long journey through grief that can be filled with unexpected emotional turbulence. Days, months, or even years might pass before the individual feels any comfort, and new waves of emotion can crash against them periodically. True acceptance of loss can take a lifetime, illustrating that closure can be an elusive concept. Another scenario often involves relationships, particularly when they end. The common belief surrounding closure is that engaging in a final conversation brings clarity and resolution. However, even after such discussions, individuals might find themselves grappling with unresolved feelings. Emotional attachment can linger long after a relationship has ended, and unexpected memories can trigger sadness or longing. One person might find that while they have logically reached a conclusion in their mind, their heart still feels unresolved. This contradiction can lead to confusion, demonstrating that closure is not a cure-all for heartache. Similarly, in situations of betrayal or conflict, the hope for closure can drive individuals to seek clarity from the person who caused them pain. However, explanations and apologies do not always mend the emotional wounds inflicted. A heartfelt conversation may provide some understanding, but it does not guarantee the absence of lingering hurt or anger. Attempting to put a bow on an experience that felt chaotic may provide a temporary sense of relief, but entrenched emotions can persist long after a conclusion has been reached. Moreover, emotional healing is inherently personal and cannot be rushed or dictated by external circumstances. Achieving closure can be a collective process, often involving conversations with friends, family, or therapists. It is an exploration of one's emotional landscape, where understanding and acknowledgement of feelings take precedence over simply arriving at an endpoint. This journey may not follow a predictable path, and differing timelines can lead to frustration. What may seem like closure to one person might feel incomplete to another, highlighting the subjective nature of emotional resolution. Additionally, the pressure to find closure can sometimes intensify emotional distress. Society often romanticizes the idea of closure, leading individuals to feel inadequate or lost if they have not achieved it. This belief can create an unhealthy cycle, where the search for closure becomes a burden rather than a source of comfort. Instead of providing solace, the idea of closure can become a relentless chase, exacerbating feelings of despair and confusion. Finally, embracing the reality that some emotions may never fully resolve can be liberating in itself. Accepting emotional complexity allows individuals to acknowledge that it is okay to feel hurt or unresolved. Rather than striving for closure, one might consider cultivating resilience and adaptive coping strategies. This can involve engaging in self-reflection, practicing self-compassion, and leaning on supportive relationships. Rather than fixating on a need for resolution, individuals can focus on navigating their emotional experiences with grace and understanding. In conclusion, while closure can serve as a marker of personal growth and understanding, it is not a guaranteed endpoint to emotional distress. Each person's emotional journey is unique, and looping back to experiences of mourning, change, or conflict can be part of healing. Rather than seeking closure as a definitive end, embracing the process of emotional exploration offers a pathway toward feeling more at peace. Through understanding, personal acceptance, and self-compassion, individuals can find strength within the ambiguity of their emotional landscape. Life, after all, is not just about closure. It is about the stories we weave through our experiences and the lessons we learn along the way.